Test 1 2, test 1 2. Live from the Charles Wang Athletic Complex here at St. Dominic's in Oyster Bay, New York. After 2 months, it now comes down to this. It is now down to 2 teams, and we are playing today for the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship. This is the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game here on Ustream. Today's game is between the number 3 seed in the ACBL Championship round, the North Jersey Eagles, the champions of the ACBL North Division, and the number 1 seed, the champions of the Kaiser Division, the New York Atlantics. Welcome to today's game. I'm Greg Diener alongside Mike Moore. And Mike, this should be an excellent matchup today between the North Jersey Eagles, who won yesterday against the Southampton Breakers for the right to play today, as they take on the New York Atlantics, who have been waiting patiently. What do you expect to see in today's matchup?
Well, Greg, it should be a very low-scoring affair here. 2 teams that have done very well this season defensively and on the mound. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the North Jersey Eagles, the visitors in this afternoon's game. Leading off and playing left field is number 35, Stanley Paul. Batting second and playing third base is number 27, Ryan Quinn. Hitting third and playing shortstop is number 26, Kyle Grimm. In the cleanup position is the right fielder, number 20, Tyler McCarthy. Batting fifth and playing center field is number 16, Chris Smith. Batting sixth is the designated hitter, number 40, Greg Smith. As the first pitch is taken for a called strike to Stanley Paul, and we are underway, and the count is 0-1. Rounding out the lineup, batting seventh and playing second base is number 6, Jamie Wallerman. Hitting eighth and catching is number 18, Chris Bonte. As the fastball is up high, and that evens the count on a ball and a strike. And batting ninth and playing first base is number 11, Kenneth Kirshner. The starting pitcher for the Atlantics this afternoon is the right-hander,
Kevin Chenisek, number 33 on
33, Kevin Chenisek. Count is even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Stanley Paul, left-handed batter wearing number 35. And the pitch is a blooper, right side, pop up, and the catch is made by Gabby Pena. And that's how we get things started here in the top of the first inning, 1 out and nobody on. Defensively for the Atlantics, Tom D'Alessandro is at first, Gabby Pena is at second, Dave George is at short, and Mike Perrone is at third. Derek Hirsch is over in left, Chris Kalusian is in center, Dan Rowland is over in right, Mike Russo is the catcher, and Kevin Chenisek is on the mound. The batter is going to be Ryan Quinn, right-handed batter wearing number 27 and playing third base. So, Greg, a good start for Chenisek as he retires the leadoff batter, the speedy Paul. Pitch is grounded to the right side, fielding it cleanly. He moves it, recovers, and throws to first in time to retire Quinn. 2 up and 2 set aside here in the top half of the first inning. So 2 quick attempts for Gabby Pena. He booted that one, but was able to recover and retire Quinn.
And Chenisek, as is getting the start today for the Atlantics, as Lou Bernardi trusted him to give New York their first ever ACBL championship. Chenisek, in 6 starts recorded this year, 3-1 would be 2.61 ERA, 43 strikeouts, and 10 walks.
Batter is Ryan Grimm. He takes the first pitch inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. And the next pitch is a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike. That evens the count at a ball and a strike. Kyle Grimm wearing number 26 and playing shortstop for the North Jersey Eagles. 1 pitch is grounded up the middle, and to his left, the shortstop Perrone has it, throws the first in time. Nice play by Mike Perrone to retire Grimm and the Eagles here in the top half of the first inning. Nothing across. The score after 1/2 inning of play here in the ACBL championship game. It is the North Jersey Eagles nothing, and the New York Atlantics coming up. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the New York Atlantics. Leading off and playing shortstop is number 2, Mike Perrone. Batting second and playing first base is number 16, Tom D'Alessandro. Hitting third and playing center field is number 4, Chris Kalusian. In the cleanup position is the left fielder, number 23, Derek Hirsch. Batting fifth and catching is number 25, Mike Russo. Batting sixth and pitching is number 33, Kevin Chenisek. Batting seventh and playing right field is number 8, Dan Rowland. Batting eighth and playing third base is number 3, Dave George. And batting ninth and playing second base is number 7, Gabby Pena. The starting pitcher this afternoon in this championship game for the North Jersey Eagles is the left-hander Johnny Gandolfo. We'll give you the defensive alignment here for the North Jersey Eagles. At first base, it's Ken Kirshner. At second base is Jamie Wallerman. The shortstop is Kyle Grimm. And at third base is Ryan Quinn. Stanley Paul is out in left. Chris Smith is in center. Tyler McCarthy is in right. Chris Bonte is the catcher. And Johnny Gandolfo is on the mound. mound for the New York Atlantics. Retired the North Jersey Eagles in order in the top half of the first inning, so now the Atlantics have a chance to crack the scoreboard first here in the bottom half of inning number 1, just underway here at the Charles Wong Complex in Oyster Bay, New York. So Greg, a good start for Chenesek, and the Atlantics retiring the side in order, and now they look to their offensive team to get things going here in the bottom half of the first inning.
And of course, New York, 24-14 during the regular season, number 2 seed out of the Atlantic in the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Kaiser Division, getting here coming from behind 1-0 against the defending ACBL champion Staten Island Tide to win 2 games in a row to get to this championship game. They faced the same route that the North Jersey Eagles had in the Wolf Division Championship. They were trailing 1-0 to Trenton, had to win 2 straight games on the road to get to the ACBL Championship round.
And Greg, we were talking a little bit in the pregame before we went on the air about the history of teams that play in this championship game coming off a bye, and you were saying that statistically speaking, normally it is advantageous for the team that has had a day off in between to get ready for this game.
Yes, this is the 3rd year we've gone to a 3-division format here in the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League, and the last 2 champions in this 3-division championship format, the Norfolk Ospreys and the Staten Island Tide, were the number 1 seed heading into the championship round.
So if the trend continues, that favors the Atlantics. Mike Perrone steps in, leading off, wearing number 2 and playing shortstop, and the first pitch from Johnny Gandolfo, the left-hander, is a fastball taken. They'll tie for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Mike Perrone will be followed by Tom D'Alessandro and Chris Kaluzian here in the bottom half of the first inning of a scoreless game, and the 0-1 pitch is a fastball on the inside corner down low, for a ball, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Mike Perrone, a 5'11" shortstop who will be attending Vassar College. Pitches outside for a ball, and the count is 2-1 to Perrone. Perrone looking to set the table for D'Alessandro and Kalusian. 2-1 pitch is outside, and Gandolfo falls behind in the count to Perrone. 3 balls and 1 strike.
I should actually correct you for a minute, Mike. It is actually number 28, Joey Gandolfo, who's the pitcher for North Jersey today.
And the 3-1 pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and that evens the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So thank you, Greg. And the payoff pitch is on its way. And it's in there for a called strike 3. Perrone not happy with the call there. Good start for Gandolfo as he gets Perrone looking for his first strikeout of the day. 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom half of the first inning for Tom D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro, a right-handed batter wearing number 16 and playing first base for the New York Atlantics, led by Lou Bernardi in his first year at the helm for the Atlantics, trying to pick up the ACBL championship. Go ahead, Greg.
A false foul on 1. D'Alessandro, 12 games played, 324 average with 11 RBIs on the season.
So, Greg, I had Johnny Gandolfo on the scorecard, and you said the picture is actually which Gandolfo there?
Joey Gandolfo. He is out of Columbia University Junior.
So Joey Gandolfo's 0-1 pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. And quickly the count is 0-2, and Gandolfo in the early going has good velocity and has good command of his pitches, working both sides of the plate. Working from the third base side of the rubber, the 0-2 pitch is a fastball that rides high, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tom D'Alessandro, with the center fielder Chris Kalusian standing on deck for the Atlantics. Just underway here in the bottom half of the first inning of the championship game of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. 1-2 pitch is on its way, and it's a check swing. He went around, said home plate umpire, so D'Alessandro goes down. Second consecutive strikeout for Gandolfo, and quickly 2 out and nobody on. Great start for Gandolfo in this game, Greg.
Tom Major, the home plate umpire, ruling that D'Alessandro went around while he checked his swing, and so Gandolfo has his second strikeout in this game.
So 2 out and nobody on for Chris Kalusian, right-handed batter wearing number 4 and playing center field. And Gandolfo's first pitch is his fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. And again, Greg, Gandolfo getting ahead on the count to these Atlantics batters, and doing so with some authority, having tremendous velocity of that fastball.
And that fastball could work very well into North Jersey's favor as they seek to win their first ever ACBL championship.
That fastball just missed, and the count is even at a ball and a strike to Kalusian with Derek Hirsch standing on deck. Working quickly here, Gandolfo's 1-1 pitch is fouled off. And for the third consecutive at-bat to start this game, Gandolfo is ahead on the count to the batter. 1-2 is the count to Kalusian. And you could see on that pitch there, Greg, that Kalusian was way behind on that Gandolfo fastball.
Yeah, this fastball is going to be very tough for these Atlantic hitters to try to get used to.
1-2 pitch in there for a call, strike 3. What a start for Joey Gandolfo. He strikes out the side. Two of the batters looking excellent. Could not ask for a better start from the Atlantic's starting pitcher. Nothing across, for the Eagles starting pitcher. Nothing across for the Atlantics. We go to the top half of the second inning of the 2012 ACBL championship game. Score remains tied at 0. Mike Moore alongside Greg Dina. So, Greg, both pitchers, Joey Gandolfo for the Eagles and Kevin Chanasek for the Atlantics, retiring the side in order here in the early going, and doing so in very impressive fashion.
Yes. Chanasek doing so with getting the batters to ground out, getting Stanley Ball to pop up to the second baseman Pena in his first at bat, and then getting Quinn to ground out to second base and Grimm to ground out to short, and of course Joey Gandolfo striking out the side in order in the bottom of the first. So, as we said, we expect a low-scoring affair this afternoon here.
So we go to the top half of the second inning here. 4, 5, and 6 in the order against Kevin Chanasek, who got a pop-up and 2 groundouts to start his afternoon. Tyler McCarthy will lead off. He'll be followed by Chris Smith and Greg Smith. And, Greg, you think both teams are getting the butterflies out of this system here in the early going? Good start for the pitchers. They don't seem to be having any problem, but maybe the batters in the early going here having trouble catching up with both teams' starting pitchers' fastballs.
Yes, indeed. And, of course, as we mentioned yesterday in the playing game between North Jersey and Southampton, these teams never are usually playing within their own division, so this is the first time that they have seen each team this year.
First pitch to Tyler McCarthy is a fastball taken. Bell time for a close strike, and the count is 0-1. Tyler McCarthy wearing number 20, right fielder, right-handed batter.
McCarthy, as that ball is laced into third base, nailed by the third baseman, the throw to first, in time for the out. And
what a play by Dave George, robbing McCarthy of an extra base hit. So 4 up and 4 set aside. Put a circle around that one, and Chanasek immediately signaling over to his third baseman, telling him he made a great play. And it's on the top half of the second inning. So defense looks like it's going to be a factor here in this pitcher duel. That was ticketed down the left field line, and George going to the third base side of the bag, makes the diving stop on the backhand, Greg, and makes the throw across the diamond to retire McCarthy.
And now Chris Smith. Smith had the 2 biggest hits in yesterday's playing game against the Southampton Breakers, a solo home run off Paul Paez, and a 2-run single back in the 6th inning that gave the Eagles the lead for good.
0-1 is the count to Chris Smith, right-handed batter wearing number 16 and playing center field, and the 0-1 pitch is popped foul, and quickly Kenneth Chanasek is ahead on the count to Smith, no balls and 2 strikes.
Chris Smith, a junior out of Wagner College.
So as you said, Greg, Smith with the 2 biggest hits for the Eagles yesterday, putting them into this championship game, a solo home run, and then a go-ahead 2-run double, pitch is fouled off, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. The Eagles, I'm sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Umpires today, home plate is Tom Major, first base is Joe DiPietro, and third base Manuel Alejandro, who had the home plate duties yesterday. 3-man crew here for the ACBL championship game.
Fastball up high, and the count is 1-2 to Chris Smith. So each team has their starting pitcher retire every batter they face so far. And the pitch is a broken back grounder back to the mound. Chanasek fields it cleanly, on-hand toss to first to retire Smith for the second out of the inning. 2 up and 2 set aside, and Chris Smith had his bat sawed off there on a fastball in on the fist, and Chanasek fielded it cleanly, Greg. 2 up and 2 down, 5 in a row to start the game for Chenesek.
And this is the groove that Chenesek wants to be here in this championship game. You want to retire as many batters as you can.
So 2 out and nobody on for Greg Smith wearing number 40. Smith is the designated hitter in this game, right-handed batter. First pitch is another broken bat pop-up on the infield. The second baseman, Pena, makes the call and the catch, and that retires the side. So 2 consecutive broken bats, Greg, showing that Chenesek getting those fastball by the batters as he has his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across for the Eagles in the top of the second. We go to the bottom half of the second with the score remaining tied at 0. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. So 9 batters have been to the plate, Greg, so far in this game, and all 9 have been retired. And we talked about this in the pregame. We said that this was going to be a very interesting, low-scoring affair, and so far it has been as advertised, a pitcher's duel.
Yes, and Chenesek will be, the pitcher will be batting third here for the Atlantics. He's batting 6th in the order today for the Atlantics, and we'll see what the pitcher will do when he faces Gandolfo and see if Chenesek can help his own cause out here as he bats third in the inning.
Gandolfo very dominantly striking out the side in the first, getting Perrone and Calusian looking and D'Alessandro swinging. So now he will face 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Derek Hirsch, Mike Russo, and his opposite number, Kevin Chenesek.
And North Jersey, not very impressive ERA during the course of the regular season. They were 19 and 20 during the regular season. Their team total ERA on the year was 5.90. But they have certainly not shown that in the playoffs so far, upsetting the Quakertown Blazers in the Wolf Division semifinal and upsetting the heavily favored Trenton Generals in the Wolf Division Championship Series, as we mentioned earlier, and of course the big victory over Southampton yesterday to get here.
And Greg, we were talking about yesterday's victory, about the 4-3 victory, and in that victory yesterday, the Eagles had 11 hits overall, and 6 of the 11 hits, Greg, were with 2 outs in the inning. First pitch is a fastball taken for a ball strike to Derek Hirsch, and the count is 0-1. It'll be Hirsch, Russo, and Chenesek here in the bottom half of the second of a scoreless game. 0-1 pitch is a fastball taken held high for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. And Greg, Gandolfo continues to get ahead of the count against these batters, and doing so very impressively with that fastball from the line. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Hirsch goes down swinging. 4 up and 4 retired, all via the strikeout here to start this game for Joey Gandolfo. And Greg, you cannot be more impressive than Gandolfo has been so far here in the early going.
Well, he's certainly showing so far this afternoon that he's not intimidated by any of the hitters that New York has been putting up so far, retiring all his batters through the strikeout, and we'll see what he can do to Russo here as that pitch is taken for a called strike.
Mike Russo wearing number 25, and right-handed batter, he's the catcher. Go ahead, Greg.
Russo, an ACBL All-Star this year for the Kaiser and the Wolf divisions. Russo, 262 batter in the regular season, 2 home runs, and 25 RBIs.
And that pitch just missed, and that evens the count on a ball and a strike. And you could see, Greg, right away that Gandolfo is getting into a tremendous group with his battery mate, Bonte. Pitches a chopper to the first base side foul, and the count is now a ball and 2 strikes. And as many people know, this is the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League, so these teams have players from across the country that get together for this 2.5-month stretch, and it probably is a difficult task for the catchers and the pitchers to work together, but it seems that Bonte and Gandolfo, as they have done all season, are really doing an excellent job here in the early going.
And that is one of the challenges you face when you start in summer college league season, as that ball's taken for a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You need to develop a rapport with a pitcher that you're quite unfamiliar with, and you got to do so over the course of 2 months.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit under the dive of Kyle Grimm. So Mike Russo picks up the first hit of the afternoon, a one-out single up the middle, and that will bring up the pitcher, Kevin Chenisek. So a good job by Russo. He looked overmatched in the early going of that at-bat, but had a fastball come right down Broadway, and was able to take it up the middle for a one-out single.
And Russo getting the first hit of this ball game.
So that will bring up Kevin Chenisek, left-handed batter wearing number 33. He is the pitcher this afternoon, batting as well. First time that Gandolfo has to work from the stretch, and the pitch is a fastball up high, and the count is 1-0 to Chenisek, with Dan Rowland, the right fielder, standing on deck. Outfield in normal depth. Infield at double play depth. 1-0 pitch is a fastball that hits the outside corner for a called strike, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike. Chenisek not happy with the call there, Greg, but as you know well, he is not going to question home plate umpire, being that he is the starting pitcher. 1-1 is the count here, with Russo leading off at first. 1-1 pitch is grounded too short. This might be two. The second one on to first, double play, so a pitcher's best friend there, as the 6-4-3 double play is turned nicely by Kyle Grimm, Jamie Wallerman, and then the strong throw to Ken Kirshner gets Gandolfo out of the jam there. So a one-out single goes awry as Chenisek grounds into the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play for the Atlantics in the bottom of the second. No runs, one hit, no errors, and with the double play, no runners left on base. Two in the books here in Oyster Bay. We remain scoreless. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener, the championship game of the 2012 ACBL. So Greg, Gandolfo gives up the first hit of the afternoon and then comes right back and gets his opposite number, Chenisek, to ground into the 6-4-3 double play, and this pitcher's duel continues.
As you mentioned, Mike, the pitcher's best friend, the 6-4-3 double play, as Gandolfo giving up the first hit of this ball game, but recovering nicely as that ball was fielded nicely by the shortstop Grimm.
So we now go to the top half of the third inning. Kevin Chenisek has retired the first six batters he has faced, so it will be the bottom of the order here in the top of the third. Jamie Wallerman, Chris Bonte, and Ken Kirshner. Hot and humid day here at the Charles Wong Sports Complex, the home of the St. Dominic's High School Bayhawks here in Oyster Bay. A beautiful, beautiful venue here. And we talked about fatigue being a factor, Greg, throughout this day for both the pitchers and the batters and the fielders, but most importantly for the pitchers. When you talk about a gut-wrenching performance, how about the performance yesterday? By the North Jersey Eagles starting pitcher and winning pitcher,
Brian Draper, yes. 200-plus pitches by Draper in probably one of the most gutsiest performances in Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League history to get a victory over the Southampton Breakers to advance to today's play in championship game.
And what was Draper's official numbers, Greg?
8 innings pitched, 3 runs allowed, 7 hits, 6 walks, and 6 strikeouts.
And he was very erratic in the early going. He gave up a bases-loaded walk, the 4th consecutive walk of the inning, but then got an ending 5-5-3 double play and kept his team in the game, and then they were able to cash in later on. First pitch to Jamie Wallerman is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Wallerman, a left-handed batter wearing number 6 and playing second base. He'll be followed by Chris Bonte and Ken Kirshner at the top of the third base for this game. 0-1 pitch is a fastball inside, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike. So Greg Chenisek pretty much has gone to his primary pitch, the fastball. We haven't seen him use any of these other secondary pitches so far. There's a good change up there, swung on and missed, So Wallerman behind in the count now, a ball and 2 strikes. And just as I mentioned it, he pulls the string there and has Wallerman way out in front. 1-2 pitch is on, just misses, and that evens the count at 2-2.
As we mentioned yesterday, Wallerman played in the ACBL last year for the Riverhead Tomcats with North Jersey this year, 276 hitter during the regular season for the Eagles.
2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. So there's another nice changeup thrown by Chenisek as he gets Wildman swinging way out in front on that one. First strikeout of the afternoon for Kevin Chenisek. And that now is 7 up and 7 set aside to start this game as he picks up his first strikeout today. 1 out and nobody on for Chris Bonte. Bonte wearing number 18, right-handed batter. He's the catcher, and Chenisek's first pitch is a fastball bell tie for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So both pitchers in the early going here getting ahead on the count to the batters, and that always favors them so they can work both sides of the plate and go to their other secondary pitches as well. Fastball at the knees on the inside corner for a called strike, and Chenisek is ahead on the count to Bonte. No balls and 2 strikes. Working quickly. Gets the sign from Russo. 0-2 pitch is popped foul behind home and out of play, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Chris Bonte.
Bonte, a junior from Wesleyan, 1 for 3 in yesterday's playing game in Southampton with a sacrifice.
Pitches a fastball down low, and the count is 9 ball and 2 strikes to Chris Bonte. So Greg, a pitcher's duel so far. Looking to put that first run across the board. Eagles remain hitless. 1-2 pitch is a fastball inside, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Bonte. Greg, you have the feeling that one mistake in this game or 1 run could prove to be the difference in the early going.
Certainly tight contest so far as the 2-2 pitch from Chenisek in there for a called strike 3. That is Chenisek's second consecutive strikeout, and now that is 8 consecutive batters that Chenisek has retired to start the game. And now that'll bring up the first baseman, number 11, Kenneth Kirshner out of St. Thomas Aquinas.
Kirshner, left-handed batter, wearing number 11. So Chenisek looking to retire the lineup the first time around without a hit. First pitch squares the bunt, a beautiful bunt. Chenisek off the mound, fields it, throws to first. Out at first base. What a play by Kevin Chenisek. Got a great jump on it. It was a beautiful surprise bunt by Kirshner. Chenisek, his momentum after the pitch is thrown, taking him towards the third base side. He feels it sliding and then makes a strong throw to D'Alessandro at first to retire the side. So helping out his own cause there was Kevin Chenisek. Put a circle around that one, a great play. So that's now 9 in a row to start the game, retired by Kevin Chenisek. Nothing across for the Eagles in the top of the third. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. It remains scoreless here in the championship game of the 2012 ACBL. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. So Greg, usually it's the defense behind the pitcher that helps him out, as we saw in the last inning when Chenisek grounded into the double play. There, Chenisek helps his own cause out on the surprise bunt. A great move there by Kirshner. Had everybody surprised. The third baseman, George, was not going to make the play. Chenisek was the only person who had the opportunity there. Got off the mound quickly, cat-like reflexes, and his momentum took him towards the third base side on the slide, but then made the strong throw and retired Kirshner to end the inning.
And it was amazing that the first baseman, D'Alessandro, for New York, was able to come up with a ball. Chenisek making an off-balance throw. That ball could have easily gone over D'Alessandro, and that would have led Kirshner to get on first base safely. But a nice fielding there by D'Alessandro to make it 9 straight batters retired by Chenisek to start this ball game.
So we are still waiting for the first run of this championship game. We're in the bottom of the third. Joey Gandolfo struck out the first 4 batters he faced and then gave up a 1-out single to Mike Russo, the only hit so far in this game, but then continued to face the minimum by getting Chenisek to ground into the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. So now 7, 8, 9 in the order here for the Atlantics in the bottom of the third. Dan Rowland will lead off, to be followed by Dave George and Gabby Pena. Dan Rowland, a right-handed batter wearing number 8 and playing right field. And the first pitch from the lefty Gandolfo is a fastball outside, and the count is 1-0.
Rowland, for the regular season, as we get you his numbers for a second, 204 in the regular season, 18 games played, 3 runs batted in.
1-0 pitch is a fastball swung on and missed, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike. And Greg, the way Gandolfo is coming at these Atlantic's batters, it may be a long afternoon. 1-1 pitch, a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. And whether it's a left-handed batter or a right-handed batter, Gandolfo working both sides here in the early going. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Roland goes down swinging. That is now 5 strikeouts for the first 7 batters that Gandolfo has faced. 1 out and nobody on for Dave George. George, a right-handed batter wearing number 3 and playing third base, the number 8 hitter in this New York Atlantic's lineup. First pitch is a grounded to the first base side, fielded cleanly by Kirshner, who is along the first baseline. He takes it to the bag himself to retire George. Quickly 2 out and nobody on. Good start here for Gandolfo, and doing it in a productive manner as well, Greg, limiting that pitch count.
Yes, and certainly the North Jersey bullpen well rested after yesterday, as Brian Dravel's incredible performance gave most of the bullpen, with the exception of Rich Anastasia, a day off.
So 2 out and nobody on for the number 9 hitter, Gabriel Pena. Pena, the right-handed batter wearing number 7 and playing second base. He takes the first pitch for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And Pena is a member of the Stony Brook Seawolves, who had that tremendous Cinderella run this year, Greg, to the College World Series. It must have been a tremendous experience, not only for Pena, but the rest of his Seawolves teammates as well.
And, of course, plenty of those Stony Brook Seawolves teams getting drafted to, I believe the final number was about 6 or 7 people that ended up getting drafted to Major League rosters. So a tremendous year for Coach Mike Zink and his Stony Brook program.
1-2 pitches, a fastball outside, that evens the count at 2-2. Zink has been given a contract extension as well for his success with the Seawolves this season, and Pena looking forward to returning for the 2013 campaign. Pitch is fouled off, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Gabby Pena is one of the players in this Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League who is a Division I baseball player, used to playing his season with an aluminum bat, has to make the adjustment to the wooden bats here, Greg. Pitch is fouled off, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So how much of an adjustment do you think it is, Greg? It's for the aluminum, from the aluminum bats to the wooden bats.
It makes a huge difference going from the aluminum bats to the wooden bats. Of course, you play all season with a wooden bat in the early winter and the spring, and then you come to one of the summer collegiate leagues, and then you got to get used to a whole different style, considering how differently the ball will come across to the wooden bat as opposed to an aluminum bat, as that ball is outside for a ball. So Pena on with a 2-out walk here in the third.
So a nice at-bat by Pena, bowing off a couple of pitches and then working out the 2-out walk. Just the first walk surrendered by Joey Gandolfo. So it's back to the top of the order, and Mike Perrone. Perrone struck out looking his first time up, 1 of 5 strikeouts so far in 2 2/3 innings pitched for Joey Gandolfo. Short lead for Pena. He has good speed at first, but he's trying to get the read. Pitch is fouled off by Perrone, and the count is 0-1. Always very difficult for a base runner to get a read on a left-handed pitcher. And working on the third base side of the rubber, Gandolfo taking a close look at Pena, trying to prevent him from getting into scoring position, and he throws to first, and Pena gets back in standing up. Outfield in normal depth. The third baseman, Quinn, is off of the line at third. There is a big hole on the right side of the infield with Kirshner holding on Pena. Pitch is fouled off, and quickly Perrone is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. So, Greg, always a difficult challenge for a base runner, as we were saying, to try to get a significant lead off of the bag with a left-handed pitcher on the mound. Never know how the pitcher is going to make the move, either towards the plate or towards the bag.
We saw that plenty yesterday with Paul Paez. He takes 2 bats out as that ball goes to the right side for a base hit. So Perrone continues the 2-out rally as the Atlantics have their second hit of the ball game. And now that'll bring up D'Alessandro.
Great at bat there by Perrone. He was behind in the count, 0-2. Gandolfo went to the well one too many times there with his fastball. A lot of plate coverage on that fastball, and Perrone, going with the pitch, takes it the other way, doing a nice job there on that inside-out swing. and that puts runners at first and second. Second hit, as you said, in the game overall for the Atlantics, and after 2 out and nobody on, now they have the go-ahead run in scoring position for Tom D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro struck out swinging his first time up, so good speed on the bases here in Pena and Perone. First baseman Kirshner playing off of the bag, and the pitch is a check swing down low. The appeal.
Tom Major at first base says he did not swing, so it's 1-0.
1-0 is the count. Couldn't see the call there. Thank you, Greg. Runners lead first and second. 1-0 pitch is a fastball down low, and Gandolfo falls behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. So a tough challenge here for the left-hander for the first time this afternoon. Falling behind in the count to a batter, needing to make a dangerous pitch here with the go-ahead run in scoring position. And a 2-0 count here to D'Alessandro from the stretch. Time is called as Grimm is playing a cat-and-mouse game there with Pena at second base. Third baseman Quinn is a little bit off of the bag. And as we said, Kirshner, no need to hold the base runner on at first. And now Gandolfo takes another look back. So you can tell that Gandolfo is keeping a very close eye on Pena at second base, knowing that he is going to go on contact. A hit should score the run. Pitch is outside, and the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. So after having such a dominant performance, Greg, to start the game, 4 strikeouts in the first 4 batters faced, a walk and a single here, and now he's behind in the count to D'Alessandro. 3-0. Green light, Greg?
Not this time. 3 balls and 1 strike.
3-1 is the count. Still a hitter's count here for D'Alessandro.
And of course, Klausian on deck, the second leading hitter on the Atlantics.
So the first major scoring opportunity for either team here in the bottom of the third. 3-1 pitch is on the inside corner for a called strike. And the count is now full, 3-2. So that means an automatic start for the base runners. Pena at second and Perone at first. Gandolfo gets the sign from Bonte from the stretch. Here comes the payoff pitch. Runners go. And it's in there for a called strike 3. So D'Alessandro goes down looking. Second time in 2 plate appearances that D'Alessandro strikes out. That's 6 strikeouts now for Joey Gandolfo, and he does a great job getting out of that jam. He had 2 out and nobody on, and then gave up a walk and a single, but then strikes out D'Alessandro on the 3-2 pitch to get out of the inning and keep the Atlantics off the scoreboard. For the Atlantics in the bottom of the third, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on. We go to the fourth. We remain scoreless here in the 2012 championship game of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. Mike Moore alongside Greg Dina. So first sense of scoring opportunity on the part of the Atlantics, and Gandolfo comes right after them and picks up a huge strikeout to get out of that jam.
And that was a strong recovery there by Gandolfo, falling behind to D'Alessandro, 3-0 in the count. 1 pitch away from loading the bases and responding with 3 consecutive strikes, getting D'Alessandro looking, and we remain scoreless. And now it will be up to Kevin Chenisek to continue his dominant pitching so far in the first 3 innings.
And Greg, that's an excellent point that you made too. On that payoff pitch, should the base runner have been given ball 4, now you're facing the heart of the order with the bases loaded, which means you got to come right after this batter. So an absolutely huge strikeout for Gandolfo, as that was his first significant hiccup that he had so far in this game. He was able to successfully get out of the jam, and now the Eagles will look to crack the scoreboard here in the top of the fourth. They are yet to have a base runner, as Chenisek has retired the first 9 batters he has faced. Stanley Paul steps back in here. He popped out to second his first time up, and the first pitch to Paul is a ground ball to the right side. Pena has it on a couple of pops, throws the first. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning. And Chenisek, for the second consecutive at-bat, retires a batter on a single pitch. That always helps the pitch count in the long run.
Yes, and Chenisek in a groove right now that is 10 straight batters retired by him to start the game, and now that will bring up Ryan Quinn 1 for 4 in yesterday's playing game against Southampton with a run scored.
First pitch is a curveball down low, and the count is 1-0. So 1 out and nobody on for Quinn.
Quinn attends Cincinnati out of the Big East. Member of the Bearcats.
Down low, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. A little bit of local flavor with the Cincinnati Bearcats. They will open up their 2013 collegiate season next year at Marshott Field against the New York Institute of Technology Bears. And we have an alum here who was a member of the Bears baseball team, and that is head coach Mike Bernardi. So the Bears will take on the Bearcats to open up the 2013 college campaign down at Marshott Field. Pitch is chopped foul, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We were talking about the Division I and Division II teams that are represented here in this ACBL, and after this pitch, we will mention a couple of the teams in the conferences. And the pitch is inside. It almost hit him. And Chenisek has run the count full 3-2 to Ryan Quinn with Kyle Grimm standing on deck. Greg was saying the New York Institute of Technology Bears are Division I. Payoff pitch is a fly ball to right field. Under it is Dan Rowland right along the line. He makes the catch to retire Quinn for the second out here into the top half of the 4th inning. 2 out and nobody on, and that is now 11 consecutive batters retired to start the game by Kevin Chenisek, and that will bring up Kyle Grimm, who grounded out to short his first time up. So, Greg, the New York Institute of Technology Bears Division I, members of the Great West Conference. We were talking about some of the other teams in that Great West Conference, and with the exception of New Jersey Institute of Technology, there are some teams that are way out there, some long road trips for NJIT and NYIT in that Great West.
Yeah, I believe Utah Valley, Chicago State, those type of teams in that conference. So, especially for a team like NYIT, they get to travel around the country and see a lot of teams.
0-2 is the count to Grimm. And the pitch, a fly ball hits in deep left field. That's got a chance. That's way back at the wall. Making the catch just shy of the fence is the left fielder Derek Hirsch. And that retires the side. So Kyle Grimm gave it a ride, but with the wind blowing in, Greg, it had just enough room in the ballpark for the left fielder Hirsch to make the catch. So that is now 12 in a row retired by Kevin Chenisek to start his afternoon. He remains perfect. Nothing across for the Eagles. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. We remain scoreless here in the championship game in 2012 of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. And Greg, with the crack of the bat there, I thought that ball may have had a shot, but we said at the top of the broadcast, right actually before we went on the air, that the wind is blowing in. And I think the wind blowing in played a factor in that long fly out.
Yeah, it certainly looked off the sound of the bat that Grimm was going to have the first run of this ball game, but at the last moment, the wind just came in, kept that ball into the park, and Hirsch was able to corral that ball on the warning track. And so now 12 straight batters retired by Kevin Chenisek to start the game for the New York Atlantics. And now Gandolfo will try to once again keep this game scoreless for his Eagle teammates.
Greg, you were talking about the travel that the NYIT Bears are able to be a part of. I had the pleasure of being the play-by-play broadcaster for the Bears last season and look forward to doing the same as well this year. And they were members of the Great West Conference, and they had a tough season at 5-46, but every member of the Great West Conference advances to the tournament, and the top seed is the host school. And we went to Salt Lake City, Utah. It was actually Orem, Utah Valley, at Brent Brown Ballpark, and it was a fantastic ballpark, Greg. You would see the mountains in the background of the outfield, and they had a berm in each of left and right field, and they were drawing close to 5,000 to 6,000 fans per game. It was just a tremendous experience, not only for myself, but for these players as well, to play in front of a large crowd like that.
Yes, and especially NYT at Old Westbury hosts. How many people do you think, Mike?
I would say in the entire season they had close to, at the most, 50 to 100 fans.
Okay, so. Well, playing in front of 5,000 crowds is a lot better than playing in front of 50. As that ball is popped up that may be out of play, and the home plate umpire major rules that ball will be out of play, and so
the count is 0-2 to Chris Kaluzian. Heart of the order here for the Atlantics in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Kaluzian, Hirsch, and Russo. Kaluzian struck out looking his first time up, one of 6 strikeouts for Joey Gandolfo, and I just heard the home plate umpire, Tom Major. I need to correct myself. The count is even on a ball and a strike. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and now the count is a ball and 2 strikes. So, Greg, not only was that an experience for the players, but because Utah Valley was the host team, they were playing in the night game, so they played under the lights as well before a crowd of over 7,000 fans. It was just an amazing experience. And the pitch is a line drive to center field, and it's dropping, but getting a good jump on it was Chris Smith, and he's able to make the play to retire Kaluzian for the first out here into the bottom half of the fourth inning. 1 out and nobody on. And for the 4th consecutive inning, Joey Gandolfo retires the ever so important leadoff batter.
And it's looking like a case where just one single mistake, as we mentioned before, could decide this championship game, as the wind is coming back hard here.
So 1 out and nobody on for Eric Hirsch. Hirsch takes the ball on the count. No, Hirsch, a strikeout victim as well, his first time up. He was the 4th and 5th strikeout victim of the first 4 batters that Gandolfo faced. Swung on and missed, and gets out of the strike zone. That evens the count at a ball and a strike. And Greg, we are to the left of home plate, right in front, as the fans can see here. And you really hear the pop in Chris Bonte's glove of the fastballs of Gandolfo. Pitches outside, and the count is 2-1. So I guess the question is, Greg, that is obviously his primary pitch. He has not used his secondary pitches that much, but how long can he go with this velocity on his pitches? Pitches a line drive down the left field line, and it drops in for an extra base hit and rolls all the way to the wall. Rounding first and heading to second is Mike Russo, and the throw is not in time. It gets away, but backed up nicely by Kirshner. It's a 1-out double for Derek Hirsch, and another opportunity here for the Atlantics as they have a runner in scoring position and 1 out. So a fastball, again, 1 too many there as Hirsch turned on it, and he has a stand-up double.
And as we said, the one mistake could decide this game. We'll see how the Atlantics can possibly respond to this now they have a runner on base with Russo and Chenisek on deck.
And a thing to keep an eye on there also, the count was 2-1, so when Gandolfo falls behind in the count to the batters, that is when the Atlantics have taken advantage. They haven't had many opportunities, but it is always when they are ahead on the count with hitters' counts. 0-1 is the count to Mike Russo. Russo singled his first time up, the first hit of the afternoon. Atlantics now have 3, and the 0-1 pitch is outside. That evens the count and a ball and a strike. So, Greg, I don't know too much about the Atlantics roster. I know a little bit after talking to Coach Bernardi, and we'll see if the Hirsch, I don't think he has a lot of speed, so he needs to get a good jump in order to possibly come home with that first run. Pitch is a fastball up high, and the count is 2-1 to Mike Russo with the pitcher Kevin Chenisek waiting on deck for the Atlantics.
Hirsch 3 for 3 in stolen base opportunities during the regular season.
So he's a sneaky base stealer. 3 stolen bases, but in 3 opportunities. So Gandolfo keeping a close eye on him, and the pitch is popped foul out of play, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So when the fans look at the rosters on the ACBL, top to bottom for any team, they make the understanding of the fact that, like we said, Division I players have been using aluminum bats adjusting to the wood bats, but Division II players have been using the wood bats through the season, so they should be able to be comfortable with that in the ACBL as well. Pitches a ground ball to the right side. That'll move the runner over. Wallerman has it. Throws to first to retire Russo for the second out, and Hirsch goes over to third, so a big out recorded there by Joey Gandolfo as Jamie Wallerman retires Russo. Now, one on and 2 out for the pitcher, Kevin Chenisek.
Now Chenisek looking to help his own cause, trying to drive in Hirsch to get the first run of this ball game, trying to help Hirsch. And of course,
Chenisek grounded into the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play, his first time up.
Time called for the wind. So this dirt coming in from home plate blinded my eyes a little bit.
So Chenisek, a right-handed pitcher and a left-handed batter, always have to be a little careful with that situation. with his throwing hand being exposed there, the pitching hand. And the first pitch is a fastball on the inside corner, fell high for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Should the inning continue, Dan Rowland is standing on deck for the Atlantics. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the fourth. 0-1 pitch is a fastball down low, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike to Kevin Chanasek. Greg, sometimes with a runner on third, the pitcher has the option of working from the stretch or from the wind. Gandolfo going from the stretch here. 1-1 pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and Gandolfo is ahead on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. So Hirsch is at third, representing the lead run. From the stretch, the pitch. It's a fastball down low that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Neither pitcher worrying about pitch count as of the situation here at this point in the early going.
It's going to be a 2-2 count for Chanasek right here.
Swung on and missed strike 3, so Chanasek goes down swinging, and once again, Gandolfo gets out of the jam with a runner in scoring position, picking up his 7th strikeout on the day and leaving that runner stranded at third for the Atlantics in the bottom of the fourth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. The Atlantics have left 3 runners on base through their 4 innings of plate appearances. We go to the top half of the 5th of the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game, and we remain scoreless. Greg Diener, Mike Moore here alongside Greg Diener. So Greg, Gandolfo again doing the job, taking care of the situations here. A couple of runners in scoring position, but gets out of the jams each and every time. And now Chanasek goes back to the mound in the 5th, retiring the first 12 batters he has faced. So the 4, 5, and 6 batters will be stepping in: Tyler McCarthy, Chris Smith, and Greg Smith. So as advertised, Greg, pitcher's duel here in the early going. Just 3 overall hits, and all 3 for the Atlantics. And the Eagles are still looking for their first base runner.
And of course, Chanasek making his 2nd appearance in this postseason on the mound for New York. Chanasek in Game 2 of the Kaiser Division semifinals against the Long Island Shamrocks in their clinching victory in that series, went 8 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs on 7 hits, and struck out 11 and walked 6. But Chanasek today certainly being very impressive and fooling these North Jersey batters, as they have not been able to find an answer for him today.
Kyle Grimm sent the fly ball to the wall to end the inning, and that was a shot that, with the wind blowing out, probably would have been a home run. And the only other batter that really was a significant threat so far is this leadoff batter, Tyler McCarthy. He had a shot down the third baseline, but a beautiful diving play by Dave George on the backhand retired him. First pitch swinging, fly ball to shallow center field. Kaluzian comes in and makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out here into the top half of the 5th inning. That's now 13 in a row retired by Kevin Chanasek to start this game. 1 out and nobody on for Chris Smith. Smith grounded back to the mound his first time up.
And now this will bring up Chris Smith, grounded to a comeback for Chanasek in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning.
And he makes a beautiful bunt down the third baseline. On the bare hand, George has it, throws to first, not in time! So it's an infield bunt single for Chris Smith, the first base runner of the day. Another surprise bunt there. Beautiful play by Dave George. Did all he could on the bare hand and made the strong throw across. But Smith, with that extra lean on the final stride that he made towards the first base bag, was able to beat it out for the first hit for the Eagles in this game. A beautiful surprise bunt. So that stops the string of 13 in a row retired by Chanasek to start this game. And now squaring to bunt and pulling the bat back, Greg Smith takes a ball inside, and the count is 1-0. Smith popped out to second his first time up. So the aggressive mindset of the batters in this game for the Eagles continues. That's now 4 4 of the last 6 batters faced against Chenesek going after the first pitch. So they know that he throws strikes in the early going, Greg, and they're trying to get on top of those pitches. They haven't been able to do so, but now it's a prize bunt by Smith, and a great barehanded play by Dave George. Did all he could. He was playing behind, off of the bag, and came in and did all he could and was unable to make the play.
And that was as beautifully as fielded ball by George as you can possibly get. Unfortunately, the speed of Chris Smith able to make it to first base in time, and the Eagles with their first hit of the afternoon here in this championship game.
So Smith steps in here from the stretch, which is outside. And I believe the count is 3-1. What do you have, Greg? 3-1? Okay. Good hit and run count here, so we'll see if Smith is in motion. Working from the stretch for the first time this afternoon. Chenesek's 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Good change up there, pulling the string, and he had Smith way out in front there, and the count is now full at 3-2. So now, Greg, play coach again. You send the runner at first, 3-2, 1 out.
I would certainly do so.
I would too, with this being a low-scoring game. And Chenesek thinking that throws to first and diving back in safely is Smith. 1 run could make the difference in this game. You get a nice little hit-and-run single, and you might have all of a sudden a first and third situation. Runner does not go, and the payoff pitch is up high, ball 4. So Greg Smith draws the walk. First walk surrendered by Kevin Chenesek, and now the first major threat for the Eagles here as they have runners at first and second and 1 out for Jamie Wallerman. Wallerman struck out swinging his first time up. So Chenesek, after getting McCarthy to fly out weakly to center on the first pitch, gives up a bunt single to Smith and Chris Smith and a walk to Greg Smith. Now he faces the 7, 8, 9 hitters. And the first pitch is grounded up the middle, and it gets under the glove and through for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home without a throw is the base runner, Chris Smith. It's an RBI single for Jamie Wallerman, and the New Jersey Eagles have cracked the scoreboard first. They take the early 1-0 lead. And Greg, from our vantage point, Mike Perrone did all he could to knock down that ball, but he was unable to do so, and Chris Smith got a great jump on the ball that was hit, and he was able to score without a throw, and that means a 1-0 lead for the Eagles.
And Chris Smith reading that play very beautifully. They knew the center fielder was not going to be able to make a throw to the plate.
So Chris Bonte steps in. He struck out looking his first time up. So a bunt single, a walk, and an RBI single up the middle for Wallerman gets the Eagles on the scoreboard first here on the top of the 5th. Pitch is popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule is called. The batter is out. Making the call and the catch is D'Alessandro to retire Bonte for the second out of the inning. A big out there for Chenesek. And now he can limit the damage with the number 9 hitter coming up, Ken Kirshner. And the deficit at just 1.
Kirshner making that beautiful bunt attempt in the 3rd inning. Fielded nicely by Chenesek to, of course, D'Alessandro to keep that ball out of play and jumping on first base to get the out to end the 3rd inning.
First pitch fastball outside, and the count is 1-0. Lou Bernardi wasting no time, sending Mike Alice, the right-handed pitcher out of Richmond, down to the bullpen to warm up for the Atlantics. As we keep mentioning, 1 run might be the difference in this game. Fastball inside, and the count is 2-0 to the number 9 hitter, Kirshner. A walk would load the bases and would bring up the leadoff hitter, Stanley Paul. So Chenesek, if he wants to limit the damage here, really needs to go after the number 9 hitter, Kirshner, here and get him out. 2-0 pitch. Line drive base hit to left field. And rounding third and heading home is Smith, and the throw home is cut off. It's an RBI single for Ken Kirshner, and the 2-out rally continues here just as they did yesterday. The North Jersey Eagles pick up a big 2-out RBI single off the bat of Ken Kirshner, and now the Eagles lead it by a score of 2-0.
And Kirshner lacing that ball beautifully as now Lou Bernardi will go out to the mound to talk to Kevin Chenesek. The Atlantics have a man warming up in the bullpen right now.
And Greg, as we have been saying, the situation at hand there, a 2-0 count. So Chenesek had to go right after the number 9 hitter Kirshner with the fastball. Kirshner taking it the other way, a beautiful swing to the opposite field. And as you mentioned prior to that at bat, Chris Smith got a really good jump. I thought the left fielder, Hirsch, was going to make a strong throw home, but Smith got a good jump. So both Smith getting the job done there. And coming home to score the second run of the game was Greg Smith. And all of a sudden, it is a 2-0 lead as the 2-out hits continue to pile up for the North Jersey Eagles, just as they did yesterday. 6 of the 11 hits yesterday with 2 outs, and now another 2-out run here.
And now you have the leading hitter for the North Jersey Eagles, Stanley Paul, at the plate. Paul did not have a hit yesterday in the playing game against Southampton, making a critical play, breaking up a double play, leading to the Eagles' 3-run rally in the 6th inning.
First pitch is a slider down low, and the count is 1-0. The wind continues to pick up here at Charles Wang Park. 1-0 pitch is a fly ball to shallow center. This might drop in. It does for a base hit, rounding third, and coming home to score the 3rd run of the inning is Jamie Wallerman. It's an RBI single for Stanley Paul, and the Eagles have put up a 3 spot here in the top half of the 5th inning. They now lead it by a score of 3-0. So the trend continues. This team is just a 2-out RBI hitting machine, as they did yesterday, continuing to do so today. And we were saying in this inning that Chenesek was trying to limit the damage at 1, facing the number 9 hitter Kirshner, unable to do so. And it appeared, Greg, that Kalusian got a bad jump on that fly ball there, and he was unable to make the play, and the result is a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, a bad cutoff throw there by the center fielder for New York, Kalusian, and now the Eagles in business with a 3-0 lead.
Runners at the corners, a 2-out for Ryan Quinn. He's 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flied out. The count is even at a ball and a strike. This is the 8th man of the inning to step in. So Chenesek retires the first 13 batters he faces, then gives up a bunt infield single, and you wonder if that bunt infield single had an effect on him. Pitches inside, and the count is 2-1.
It certainly looks like it may have.
You know, sometimes, Greg, you get a hit, and it's like a hit is a hit, but a bunt single sometimes gets inside the psyche of a pitcher more than just a regular base hit to the outfield, and it really seems to have had an effect on Chenesek here. From the stretch, pitch is a fly ball to center field. Moving over to right center, making the call, and the catch is the right fielder, Dan Rowland, and that retires the side. But a huge inning for the North Jersey Eagles here in the top half of the 5th inning, as they picked up 3 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, Greg. We're halfway home here in the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship. It is now the North Jersey Eagles 3 and the New York Atlantics nothing. And, Greg, as we said, an opportunity for Chenesek to get out of the inning at just 1 run. Facing the number 9 hitter, Kirshner, fell behind in the count 2-0. All of a sudden, 2-out hit for Kirshner, 2-out hit for Paul, and a 1-run deficit becomes a 3-run deficit.
And that's what you need here. As we mentioned, one little mistake will change the outcome of this game, and the Atlantics having a big deficit to overcome, down 3 runs here in the 5th inning, and we're going to have a new pitcher here for North Jersey on the mound for the Eagles is number 41, Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee last year played in the ACBL championship game as a member of the West Hampton Aviators. The Aviators, of course, falling short last year to the eventual champion Staten Island Tide. Chenesek played in 6 games this year for West Hampton, joining North Jersey late in the season. He pitched in 1 game during the regular season, and he pitched a game for the Eagles in the Kaiser Division semifinals. Coming on here in the bottom of the 5th inning, so the starter, Joey Gandolfo, will not get credit for the victory should the Eagles hold on to this 3-0 lead, not going the minimum 5 innings.
But a tremendous start for Gandolfo, like you said, even though he will not factor in the decision. 4 innings pitched, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And he hands it off to Kevin Lee as the Atlantics look to get back here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll send the bottom of the order up. Dan Rowland, Dave George, and Gabriel Pena, George struck out swinging his first time up, and the first pitch is a fastball up high, and the count is 1-0. And Greg, you know, we were saying, I was just about to say that a 3-run deficit in the fifth inning only halfway home is not that tough of an uphill climb, but the way that Gandolfo was pitching, it was going to be a tough one. As we said, 1 run might have been the difference, but now Lee comes in here as the pitch is taken for a called strike, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. So now these Atlantic Citizens have to make an adjustment to a new pitcher, and we'll see if they're able to do so. 1-1 pitch is up high, and the count is 2-1. Kevin Lee, as you spoke to earlier in the day to him, and I believe he said that he's going to be in Florida in the fall. Pitch is taken for a called strike. Count is even at 2-2.
Kevin previously a member of the Rams, certainly hoping to find a place for college ball next year as that ball is hit into left field, in for a base hit, as Roland has the leadoff single off Kevin Lee here to start the bottom of the fifth.
So a great start for the Atlantics as Roland picks up his first hit of the afternoon and the 4th hit overall for the Atlantics. The Atlantics have left 3 runners on base so far in this game. And Greg, we have to keep a very close eye on this half inning. Should the complexion of this game change, you have to look back and wonder about the decision made to change pitchers the way that Gandolfo was mowing down the opposition in the early going. So leadoff single for Dave George. He grounded out to first his first time up, and the first pitch is a fastball inside, and the count is 1-0. New York Atlantics need to just show patience here. We're only at the midway point of this game. They trail by 3, but a couple of base runners would bring the tying run to the plate. From the stretch, 1-0 pitch.
Of course, anything can happen here. Even if the Atlantics can only get 1 run here off Lee, every little bit helps. You want to remain in this game as fast as possible and hope that Chenesek, if he remains in the game, doesn't allow any more mistakes like he did the last inning.
Time is called, so George will step back in here. 1-1 is the count to Dave George. Bottom of the 5th, Atlantics trailing 3-0 as the Eagles are in 3 spot up here in the top half of the 5th inning. 2 of the 3 runs coming with 2 outs. And that has been the mantra of this Eagles team in the postseason. Pitch is outside for a ball, and the count is 2-1 to Dave George with Gabriel Pena, the number 9 hitter, standing on deck. So Lee comes in out of the bullpen, gives up the leadoff single to Roland, and the count is now 2-1 to George. From the stretch, throw to first, and getting back in, standing up, is Roland. Chenesek taking his time. Big hole on the right side of the infield. And the pitch is chopped foul behind home, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So, Greg, if you're the batter here, Dave George, right-handed batter, normally known for being a pull hitter, but you have to be looking, knowing that the first baseman, Kirshner, is holding on Dan Roland, and the second baseman, Wallerman, is shaded towards the second base bag. You have to see that wide open right side of the infield. You could drive a truck through there, and you wonder if the mindset of this batter is to try to take it the other way and just pick up the base hit. Swung on and missed, strike 3, so George goes down swinging. That is the first strikeout on the afternoon for Kevin Lee. 1 out and 1 on for Gabriel Pena. Pena walked his first time up, the only walk surrendered by Joey Gandolfo.
Pena walked in his first plate appearance back in the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
Outfield at normal depth. The third baseman, Quinn, is off of the bag. Pitches a fastball up high, and the count is 1-0 to Pena. Pena has a very good eye at the plate, a very patient batter. And this is a great spot for Lou Bernard to put Pena. Pena has speed at the bottom of the order, and it's like having 2 leadoff batters. As Pena and then the leadoff batter, Perone, following right behind him, can really create havoc on the base paths. Good change of foul into the glove Gabriel Pena. As we mentioned earlier, Pena, a member of the Stony Brook Seawolves. Roland is at first, 1 out, 1 on, bottom of the 5th. Eagles lead it by a score of 3-0. Mike Perrone, the Atlantic's leadoff batter, is waiting on deck. Atlantics need one more base runner, Greg, to bring that tying run to the plate. But still plenty of time left in this game. As we said, we're only halfway home. As the Atlantics look to cut into that 3-run deficit from the stretch. The pitch is popped up on the infield. Wallerman makes the call and the catch to retire Pena for the 2nd out of the inning as Roland heads back to first. So after giving up a leadoff single to Dan Roland, Kevin Lee comes back and strikes out the number 8 hitter George and gets the number 9 hitter Pena to pop out. And now he's out of way of getting out of the jam. 2 out and 1 on for the leadoff batter Mike Perrone. Perrone is 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out in his 2 plate appearances.
Perrone out of Vassar College. He had the big hit for the Atlantics in Game 3 of the Kaiser Division Championship Series against Staten Island in the top of the 9th. A suicide squeeze, allowing the Atlantics to score the go-ahead run, and that enabled them to advance to the ACBL Championship round.
Runner goes, and it's a line drive base hit down the right field line. This rolls all the way to the wall. Bernardi waving home Roland. Roland will have a play at the plate, and the throw home is in time. Out at the plate is Dan Roland. What a turn by Tyler McCarthy. Bernardi waving him home on the hit and run. Tyler McCarthy playing it off of the wall, threw an absolute gun into the first baseman, Ken Kirshner. Kirshner cuts it off and makes the throw home to Chris Bonte to gun down Dan Roland to end the inning. A tremendous relay turned by the North Jersey Eagles to keep the Atlantics off of the scoreboard. Greg, from the crack of the bat there with the runner going, I thought Roland was going to score, but the Atlantics are kept off the scoreboard, as we said, on a beautiful throw home, started by McCarthy to the first baseman Kirshner, who threw it to Bonte, who blocked the plate beautifully to complete the 9-3-2 putout to end the inning.
Certainly a smart move by Lou Bernardi to send the runner going down 3 runs to home, but an unbelievable throw made by the right fielder McCarthy. He got the cutoff man Kirshner as perfectly as you can get, and Kirshner was able to gun the runner at third base, Roland, at the plate by a mile. So now the Eagles hold on to the 3-run lead here in the top of the 6th with 3, 4, and 5 in the order batting.
So for the Atlantics in the bottom of the 5th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and Greg with the runner thrown out at the plate.
1 man left on base.
1 runner left on. Great job. We go to the top of the 6th. The score remains 3-0 in favor of the North Jersey Eagles. And Greg, if the base runner Roland was going to be safe at home, it would have been a 3-1 game with D'Alessandro coming up. That changes the complexion of this game. The momentum continues to be in favor of the Eagles. As you said, they have the heart of the order coming up here into the top half of the 6th inning. It'll be Kyle Grimm, followed by Tyler McCarthy and Chris Smith. And the first pitch from Chenisek is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Grimm is 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flied out. And the pitch is down low for a ball. The count is even at a ball and a strike. Greg, I cannot second-guess Bernardi on that. I really thought with the runner in motion and the ball hit down the right field line, right fielder McCarthy playing off of the line and right, I thought he was going to score easily.
I thought so too. But as we saw, McCarthy making as beautiful a throw you can make, playing that ball off the wall perfectly.
2-2 is the count to Kyle Grimm. It'll be Kyle Grimm, Tyler McCarthy, and Chris Smith here in the top half of the 6th inning. And the pitch is in there for a called strike 3, so Grimm goes down looking. That is the 3rd strikeout on the day for Kevin Chenisek. 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the 6th inning, and that will bring up Tyler McCarthy. McCarthy is 0 for 2. He grounded out to third on a beautiful backhanded play on the line by Dave George his first time up, and then flied out to center. But McCarthy starting the web gem, the defensive play of the game so far, and making a beautiful relay throw to the first baseman, Kirshner. Fly ball hit to right field, and moving over and making the one-handed catch is Dan Rowland to retire McCarthy. Quickly 2 out and nobody on here in the top half of the 6th inning, and that will bring up Chris Smith. Smith is 1 for 2. Smith broke up the perfect game by Chenesek. He had retired the first 13 batters that he faced, and then Smith with a surprise bunt down the third baseline.
And Chris Smith, as he did yesterday, providing the spark for this North Jersey offense.
So Smith is 1 for 2 with that bunt infield single, and a run scored. Scoring the bunt again, got back, and the appeal.
First base Pietro ruling that Chris Smith won a round.
His swing, says first base umpire, so nothing in one of the counts to Smith. Janicek working quickly. The 0-1 pitch is a curveball taken down low, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike, with Greg Smith, should the inning continue, standing on deck. The pitch is grounded foul, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. So, Greg, this is why the fans listening love the game of baseball. This is why baseball is such a tremendous game. Kevin Chenesek is on the mound. He has retired the leadoff batter in all 6 innings pitched so far, and yet he looks up at the scoreboard and he's down 3 runs.
Well, that's, as they say, that's baseball. One minute you have a perfect game going, the next you're down 3 runs as Chenesek gets Chris Smith swinging for the 3rd out. So for the North Jersey Eagles in the top half of the 6th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, the score is North Jersey 3, the New York Atlantic nothing. And we'll take a short break. You're listening to coverage of the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game right here on Ustream. I think we're going to have a new pitcher in a second. 34, Pat Butler. Yeah. Welcome back to the Charles Wong Athletic Complex here in St. Dominic's High School in Oyster Bay, New York. This is the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game between the Wolf Division champion North Jersey Eagles and the Kaiser Division champion New York Atlantics. North Jersey with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th, scoring 3 runs here in the top of the 5th. This is Greg Diener alongside Mike Moore. And Mike, we got a new pitcher on the mound, Patrick Butler out of UConn. Butler's numbers during the regular season: 8 games pitched, an 0-3 record on the year, 7.16 ERA, 17 strikeouts, and 8 walks. So Butler, a high ERA during the regular season, but of course North Jersey, considering yesterday, their bullpen very well rested. Butler certainly hoping to keep this game at 3 runs.
Butler, an intimidating presence on the mound, 6'5", 220 pounds, as you mentioned, a member of the UConn Huskies. So a very impressive scoreless inning in relief for Kevin Lee. He gave up a leadoff single and then retired Dave George and Gabriel Pena on a strikeout and a pop-up, and then the inning-ending play at the plate after he gave up a hit to Mike Perron, so he got out of the jam thanks to his defense. So he put up a 0 in relief. So now the ball is in the hands of Pat Butler as Tom D'Alessandro leads off. He'll be followed by Chris Kaluzian and Derek Hirsch. 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Atlantics as they look to get back into this game. D'Alessandro has struggled at the plate so far in this game, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Both strikeouts coming from starting pitcher Joey Gandolfo, who struck out 7 batters in 4 innings. First pitch is chopped foul, and the count is 0-1 to Tom D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro playing first base. D'Alessandro attends Cornell University. Pitch is down low for a ball. That evens the count at a ball and a strike. Greg, is it Cornell University or University of Cornell?
Yeah, I believe it is Cornell University.
Cornell University.
Out of the Ivy League.
And the pitch is a ground ball to the right side on a couple of hops. Wallerman has it, throws the first score, 4-3, 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So a good start for Pat Butler. And that will bring up Chris Kalusian. Kalusian is 0 for 2. He has struck out and lined out. So Lee came on in relief of Gandolfo and gave up a leadoff single, but now Butler, first batter he faces, he retires. And like you said, Greg, fresh arms in the bullpen after yesterday's 200-plus pitch outing.
That was by Ryan Draper. Unbelievable performance yesterday by Draper.
He kept saying after each and every half inning, this has to be his last inning, this has to be his last inning. We also said on the air that in my short time as a broadcaster, I have never seen a pitcher throw 200 pitches at any level in any game.
I've never seen anyone go over 150.
Pitch a fly ball hit to fairly deep right center field, giving chase is the right fielder McCarthy. He's under it, just shy of the wall, makes the catch to retire Kalusian. Quickly 2 up and 2 set aside here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
And that's now 2 balls that may have looked like off-the-bat home runs. The ball rim hit back in the 4th inning for North Jersey, pulled in by the left fielder Derek Hirsch at the top of the 4th, and this one hit by Kalusian just falls shy at the wall as McCarthy is able to go under that for the second out, and that will bring up Derek Hirsch.
So 2 out and nobody on for Hirsch. First pitch is a fastball line down the left field line, foul, and the count is 0-1. Hirsch is 1 for 2. He has struck out and doubled. The Atlantics in this game have no runs on 5 hits, no runs, 5 hits. They've left 4 runners on. And the Eagles have 3 runs on 4 hits. They've left 2.
Of course, all North Jersey's 3 runs, hits and left on base occurred back in the 5th.
Fastball outside, that evens the count at a ball and a strike to Derek Hirsch. Just outside for a ball, and the count is 2-1.
And you can see the wind taking a lot of the dirt off the infield.
Derek Hirsch, a 5'11" outfielder, a member of the St. Thomas Spartans of the East Coast Conference. Fastball on the inside corner for a call strike. Hirsch not happy with the call there, and that evens the count at 2-2. Butler, Simmons at the plate against Hirsch, has him very confused up there, Greg, as he seemed to have thought that pitch was a little too inside for his liking. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. It gets away from the catcher Monty, and then he makes the tag to complete the inning and retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning for Pat Butler coming on in relief. Nothing across for the Atlantics. We go to the top of the 7th. We'll keep it here. The score remains 3-0 in favor of the North Jersey Eagles. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. This is the championship game of the 2012 season in the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. So, Greg, great job so far by the Eagles bullpen, and they are 9 outs away from a championship.
And certainly, Derek Lee and Patrick Butler putting on scoreless frames in relief of Joey Gandolfo. And we'll see if the North Jersey bats can add some additional insurance runs for this North Jersey bullpen, as the Eagles now, as you mentioned, Mike, 9 outs away from their very first Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League championship, and a win for the North Jersey Eagles would make them the first team out of the ACBL Wolf Division to win the ACBL championship since the Kutztown Rockies won their 3rd straight ACBL championship back in 2008 over what was then just the Hampton Whalers, now the Sag Harbor Whalers. North Jersey trying to make history, of course. 19-20 record during the regular season. under 500, but they certainly, as we have seen these ACBL playoffs against Quakertown, their upsets of Trenton and Southampton, they certainly do not look like a sub-500 team with the way they've been playing so far in these playoffs.
So Kevin Chenisek toes the record for his 7th innings of work. 6 innings pitched so far, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the Eagles here in the top half of the 7th inning. Greg Smith will be followed by Jamie Wallerman and Chris Bonte looking for insurance here. Smith is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored, and he bunts it down the third baseline foul, and the count is 0-1. And Greg, it appears that the plan of these Eagles batters is to surprise the infield of the Atlantics, especially third baseman Dave George. If he's playing back, they're trying to pull the surprise bunt down the third baseline to no avail there, but that has been at least the 3rd time in this game that we've seen a bunt attempt on the surprise end so far.
That's the 4th on my count.
4th.
North Jersey certainly using unconventional methods to try to score some runs here off of Chenisek. It certainly worked in the top half of the 5th inning as Chris Smith's surprise bunt attempt. Now he broke up the periphery and led the 3-run rally as that ball is grounded to second base onto the first baseman for the out. So a nice fielded ball by Pena, and so we now have 1 down for Jamie Wallerman here in the top half of the 7th inning.
Wallerman is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He had an RBI single in the 5th. That was part of that 3-run, 4-hit rally that gave the Eagles this 3-0 lead. First pitch is down low for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So Chenisek doing all he can to keep his team in this game, looking to put up another 0 there. Action continues into the Atlantic bullpen. Pitch is fouled off down the third baseline, out of play. And the count is even on a ball and a strike. Greg, I think I can speak on your behalf, and with the tremendous video coverage that we are trying to provide here, when the wind is not a factor, the fans hopefully can hear the crack of the bat. Is there any sound better than the ball hitting the bat at a baseball game?
No, there is absolutely. I can't even think of anything else that can compare to the sound of the ball hitting a bat.
1-2 is the count here, 2-1, and the 1-2 pitch with the wind kicking up is a fastball down low, and that evens the count at 2-2. So nothing better than the crack of the bat, but also the ping. If you have aluminum bats, good sound there as well. Pitch is fouled off down the left field line, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So whether it's the crack of the wooden bat or the ping of the aluminum bat, it's always a great sound, a sound that I wish we could hear 365 days a year, but it's hard to find a lot of teams that are willing to play on the East Coast in the wintertime. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Go ahead, Greg.
Believe me, in the Northeast, I wish that it would be like this all year round, but the snow.
So Chenisek picks up his 5th strikeout on the day, 2 out and nobody on, as he looks to pick up his 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning following that 3-run 5th. The batter is Chris Bonte. He's 0-2. He has struck out and popped out, which is now looking for a ball. The count is 1-0.
Pitch in there for a called strike. So now Chenisek has Bonte at a 1-1 count.
Bonte attends Wesleyan out of Connecticut. 6 feet tall, 190 pounds. Pitch is taken on the inside corner for a called strike. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes. And wisely, even though Bonte did not appear to be too happy with that call, not saying anything, being that he is the catcher, trying to hope that his battery mate gets that call as well in the bottom of the inning. Pitch is popped up on the infield, and if foul ground, Chenisek makes the call and the catch, and that retires the side. So it is a 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Chenisek, his 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning, as he has now retired 7 batters in a row. Nothing across for the Eagles. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time if you're listening at home on Ustream. Get up and Stretch out those arms and those legs. Sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Enjoy those peanuts and Cracker Jacks. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Score remains 3-0 in favor of the North Jersey Eagles. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. And Greg, we now approach the late inning. Time is running out on the Atlantics. If they want to get back into this ball game, they must start it right now.
And they will do so with 5, 6, and 7 in their order. Russo, Chinisek, and Rowland batting. Patrick Butler goes back on the mound for North Jersey, pitching his second inning of work for the Eagles.
And for those of you that are listening to us, at the conclusion of the game, they will have the trophy presentation, and we will have an extended post-game show. So we'd like to have you join us for a recap of the game that we are seeing now, and we will have the trophy presentation right here on Ustream in front of you as best we can. We'll try to hear the announcements of the trophy presentation, and then following the trophy presentation in our post-game show, we will try to have the player of the game from the winning team and possibly the coach of the winning team as well. We'll see if they are able to give us an interview. We'll keep a close eye on that. But again, at the conclusion of the game, please stay tuned for the trophy presentation and our extended post-game coverage as we put a wrap on the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League season here in 2012 and look forward to 2013. We'll have full coverage of the post-game show right here on Ustream. Mike Russo steps in. He'll be followed by Kevin Chenisek and Dan Rowland, 5, 6, and 7 in the order against Pat Butler in his second inning of work. And the first pitch is up high for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Russo is 1 for 2. He has singled and grounded out. The Atlantics have no runs on 5 hits. They've left 4 runners on base, and the Eagles have 3 runs on 4 hits. They've left 2. So it is in the hands of the Eagles bullpen as the count is now 2-0 to Mike Russo, and Kevin Chenisek is still on the mound for the Atlantics. So Pat Butler, after retiring the side in the order in the 6th, falls behind in the count 2-0. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. So as you said earlier, Greg, a very, very relaxed bullpen as the pitch is fouled off. That evens the count at 2-2. They are well rested. The only pitcher out of the bullpen that came in yesterday was the closer,
Rich Anastasi,
who for the Eagles.
Got the job done. Was in a little bit of a jam, running his first, second, 1 out Southampton, but was able to get the last 2 batters via the strikeout.
Pitch a fly ball hit to deep left center field. That's way back. That's got a chance. It's going. It is gone. Goodbye. Mike Russo gets the Atlantics on the board with a leadoff solo home run. And just like that, the score is now 3-1 in favor of the North Jersey Eagles as Russo picks up his second hit on the afternoon, a long 2-run home run to deep left center field.
And that was just what the Atlantics needed. One pitch, and now all of a sudden the Atlantics believe that they can get back into this game.
And Greg, that ball was hit into the teeth of the wind, but it carried and carried and carried, and the ballpark was not big enough to hold it. Now we have a bunt in front of home. Bonte gets on it quickly and throws to first to retire Chenisek. Nice job there by Chris Bonte as Chenisek tries to give the Eagles a little bit of their own medicine with the surprise bunt, but Bonte was able to get out of the catcher's box quickly and make the play to retire Chenisek. 2-3 on the putout, 1 out and nobody on for Dan Rowland as Chenisek is now 0 for 3. Rowland is 1 for 2. He has struck out and singled, and he was thrown out at home to end the 5th inning on a hit-and-run single off the bat of Mike Perrone. The relay started by Tyler McCarthy, and he threw into Ken Kirshner, who threw a gun to Chris Bonte for the 9-3-2 putout, and that kind of gave more momentum to the Eagles. But like we said, no second-guessing Lou Bernardi there. So now, trying to get some redemption, Rowland steps in here with the count even on a ball and a strike. And the pitch is fouled off. And the count is now a ball and 2 strikes. Is that the count you have, Greg? 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
1 and 2 to Rowland with Dave George standing on deck. So a leadoff home run for Mike Russo puts the Atlantics on the scoreboard for the first time today. They now have 6 hits. And the pitch is a check swing. And no swing, says first base umpire. Joe DiPietro, so that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Russo, with the home run. Russo had 2 home runs in the regular season for New York, 25 RBIs. So Russo showing why he was selected to the ACBL All-Star Game in Brooklyn this season.
And that's another Spartan that we're talking about here. Mike Russo, 5'11", 200 pounds, out of St. Thomas Aquinas College, the Spartans. Pitch is fouled off. Getting a piece of it there was Roland, wasting the pitches here thrown by Butler, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Spartans well represented here today, Greg.
We have a couple of EC teams with representation. Of course, Kevin Chenisek, member of LIU Post, Vinny Orlando, who's not starting in today's game for the Atlantics, member of Mercy College. So we have some plenty good ECC representation here in the championship game. That pitch is swung on, missed outside, and now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Good slider thrown there by Butler as he gets Roland swinging on a pitch out of the strike zone. So Butler picks up his first strikeout in relief after surrendering the leadoff homer to Russo. He has retired the next 2 batters. 2 out and nobody on for Dave George, and that's a nice bounce back so far because, Greg, another base runner would bring the tying run to the plate. So the first pitch to George is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. George is 0 for 2. He has grounded out and struck out.
And, of course, George looking for his first hit of the game. That is taken for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
So you have to like the intestinal fortitude of Butler coming back here after giving up the solo home run to start the inning. Now he's a pitch away from getting out. And the pitch is a chopper up the middle. This is going to be a tough play. Grimm has it on a couple of pops and throws to first, and that retires the side. Nice play there by Kyle Grimm coming in and charging the ball. And that will do it for the Atlantics here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But they do pick up a run on a leadoff solo home run off the bat of Mike Russo. 1 hit and no errors and nobody left on. We go to the top half of the 8th inning, and the score is now the North Jersey Eagles 3 and the New York Atlantics 1. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. This is the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game.
And, of course, we want to mention, this is the 45th season of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. And, of course, the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League has produced many talented players over the years. Several Major League alumni, past and present, you may recognize. Frank Viola, Craig Biggio, Jamie Moyer, of course, Ryan Vogelsong, currently pitching for the San Francisco Giants, and John Lennon, member of the Washington Nationals. Many talented players, past and present, part of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League's rich 45-year history.
Now, Greg, I have a question for you. You mentioned Frank Viola. Now, I know the answer to this question, and I think you know the answer to this question right now. Viola's daughter is participating in the Olympics in London as a member of the U.S. diving team. What do you think Viola is doing right now? Is he listening to the broadcast or is he watching NBC? I have a feeling that he's DVRing the diving competition to watch this game because he is an alum of the ACBL. And you could watch your daughter anytime at home. Just DVR it, but you can't miss a live broadcast of the ACBL championship game. So my vote is that Viola's watching the game right now.
No, I believe so too. And of course, Frank Viola, his college teammate and Mets teammate, John Franco, his son JJ Franco, out of Brown, played second base for the Sag Harbor Whalers this season.
9-1-2 in the order. As Kirshner leads off, he'll be followed by Stanley Paul and Ryan Quinn. First pitch is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Kirshner is 1 for 2. He has grounded out and had an RBI single, part of that 3-run, 4-hit top of the 5th inning that has been the difference so far in this game. And the count is 0-1. And the pitch is taken outside for a ball, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Greg, I believe I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Are you saying a little more about J.J. Franco?
Yes, J.J. Franco, of course, played his second year with the Sag Harbor Whalers. Now the count is 1-2 to Kirshner.
Kevin Chenisek in his 8th inning of work. 7+ innings so far. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. So he has had 1 bad inning, and it has been proving costly so far. Pitches a fastball outside, and that evens the count at 2-2. It was Kirshner's at bat that started it actually continued the It started a 2-out hit parade, but it continues to rally for the Eagles. And the pitch is grounded to the right side, knocked down nicely, hard hit ball by Pena, and he throws to first to retire. Kirshner scored 4-3, 1 out and nobody on. Nice play there as Pena went down and kept his glove down on the hard hit ball, was able to make the play to retire Kirshner.
And it was a nice play by Pena, getting the ball, throwing it on his knees over to the first baseman, Del Centro, for the first out here to retire Kirshner.
You know, playing on a new field today, the dirt has been used quite a bit here. Late innings, it might have taken a tricky hop, but Pena was able to stay with it, and being that he was the second baseman, he recovered nicely, kept his glove low, and got some dirt on the glove and was able to make the play.
And we should note that this is not normally the home field for the Atlantics, an alternate field for them. They usually play at Mitchell Field out in Uniondale with the Long Island Shamrocks and the Nassau Collegians out in the ACBL Kaiser Division.
I guess we should also take a moment to thank Mr. Wong, though, for giving us the opportunity to use his athletic complex here.
Yes.
Mr. Charles Wong,
Mr. Charles,
known as the owner of
the New York Islanders, of course.
1-2 is the count here, and the pitch is a fastball that just misses, and that evens the count at 2-2 to Stanley Paul. Paul is 1 for 3. He had an RBI single in the fifth, the second consecutive 2-out hit for the Eagles in that fifth inning to extend a 1-run lead to a 3-run lead. 2-2 pitch is on its way, and it's a blooper that is caught. What a catch by Mike Perrone, leaping high and making a beautiful play to rob Stanley Paul of a base hit. Perrone leaping as high as he possibly could, Greg, and did all he could, got the glove up, was able to make the play to rob Paul of a base hit.
An incredible timing by Perrone to judge where the ball was going to be and make the jump that he did to rob Stanley Paul of a base hit here in the 8th inning. And now that'll bring up Quinn 0 for 3 in the ball game as he takes the first pitch for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to Ryan Quinn.
Quinn has flied out to right twice and is grounded out. Low stance in the box, and the pitch is up high. That evens the count at a ball and a strike. So, Greg, we continue to see some tremendous defensive plays on the part of both teams in this game. And that one worthy of a web gem as well. Maybe we should give ESPN a call. I don't know. It looked like a web gem to me.
I don't know if the viewers at home saw it on Ustream, but incredible jumping catch by Perrone. Certainly one of the best plays made as Quinn strikes out looking. So Chenesek retires North Jersey 1-2-3 here in the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We are now through 7.5 innings in the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game. The score is the North Jersey Eagles 3, the New York Atlantics 1, and we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. You're listening to coverage of the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship live right here on U Street.
Kind of retired by that. Oh.
It wasn't for the 5th inning. He'd be like, has he even allowed a hit? No, he hasn't since the 5th. Is it a new pitcher?
Yeah.
30. 30 is Danny O'Neill. I'll be back here in 1 second. Welcome back to the Charles Wong Athletic Complex here at St. Dominic's High School in Oyster Bay, New York. This is Greg Deal alongside Mike Moore. You're listening to the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League as the North Jersey Eagles 6 outs away from their first ever Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League championship. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for North Jersey, and that will be number 30, Danny O'Neill, a left-hander out of Rutgers. O'Neill, a senior from Rutgers University.
6'4", 220 pounds.
9 games pitched during the regular season, 8 starts, 4-0 during the regular season, 4.11 ERA. In 46 innings pitched, O'Neill struck out 54 batters and walked only 14, and he will face 9-1-2 in the New York order.
So a good job by Pat Butler. His only blemish, a solo home run to lead off the 7th off the bat of Mike Russo. But besides that, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run. The lone hit, the home run. No walks and 1 strikeout. Gabriel Pena leads off the bottom half of the 8th inning, and he takes the first pitch for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. 9-1-2 in the order, as Pena will be followed by Mike Perrone and Tom D'Alessandro. Pena is 0 for 1 with a walk. Pitch is taken for a called strike, trying to square for a bunt, pulls the bat back, but the pitch is ruled a called strike by Tom Major, the home plate umpire, and quickly Pena is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes, as Danny O'Neill throws 2 strikes out of the Eagles bullpen. Working from the third base side of the rubber, the pitch is fouled off, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Third baseman Ryan Quinn playing a little bit off of the bag, as is the first baseman Ken Kirshner, so not guarding the lines. And the pitch is a fly ball to right field. McCarthy is under it. He makes the catch to retire Pena for the first out here into the bottom half of the 8th inning. 1 out and nobody on, and it's back to the top of the order, and Mike Perrone. Perrone has had a good afternoon at the plate, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. So the Atlantics need 1 more base runner to bring that tying run to the plate. And the first pitch is inside, and it hits Perrone. So Perrone gets hit by the pitch, and that will bring the tying run to the plate. Greg, we're right here, as we said, to the left of home plate, and that really looked like it felt like it sounded like it hurt.
It was the old Roger Dorn from Major League 2 getting in the way of the ball, and Perrone is on base with a hit by pitch.
So that will bring the tying run to the plate in Tom D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. But he does represent the tying run here in the bottom of the 8th, so Perrone painfully getting the job done. The important thing is that he gets on base. That's all he was looking to do there, no matter how you do it. He has a short lead at first, and the first pitch is taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And again, Perrone trying to get a lead, has an average lead at first. Tough read against the left-handed pitcher, O'Neill, working from the third base side of the rubber. Infield at double play depth. And the pitch is fouled off, and quickly O'Neill is ahead on the count to D'Alessandro. No balls and 2 strikes. And Greg, we have been talking about it when there have been base runners. Obviously, the first baseman Kirshner has to hold the runner on. But again, the second baseman Wallerman is shaded towards the second base bag, a huge hole on the right side of the infield. And we talked about it a couple of innings ago, how tempting it must look. It must be difficult to try to take it the other way, but just a gigantic hole. All you have to do is get your foot on it, and boom, it's a base hit.
Yeah, and especially if you can get a hit here, you will have the go-ahead run at the plate with 3, 4, 5 coming up. As that ball is grounded to the mound, throws to the shortstop, second for 1, on to first. He is safe. So D'Alessandro beats out the throw by the shortstop Grimm. So now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Good hustle by D'Alessandro. It was a comebacker that O'Neill fielded cleanly, doing a nice job fielding his position. Strong throw to the shortstop Grimm, and Grimm, with the base runner Perrone charging in on him, made the throw to first, but D'Alessandro beat it by a step. Good hustle there, and that keeps the tying run at the plate, staying out of the double play for Kalusian. Kalusian is 0 for 3. First pitch is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Lucien has struck out, lined out, and flied out. So D'Alessandro is at first. He has a short lead. And the pitch is fouled off, and again, quickly, O'Neill is ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. So, Greg, in relief here, O'Neill is yet to throw a ball. Every pitch thrown has been for a strike, and of course he did hit the 1 batter from the stretch. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. What more could you ask for from a reliever, Greg? O'Neill throwing strikes here, continuing to do so. Has nice command of his fastball. Short lead at first, and the pitch. And there's the first ball thrown by O'Neill, as it is a changeup up high, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes to Kalusian. Should not continue. There occurs the cleanup hitter is on deck. He would represent the go-ahead run. So a huge at-bat here And the pitch is a fly ball hit to deep right center field. That's in the gap. That's got a chance. And it drops in for an extra base hit. Rounding third and heading home is D'Alessandro, and the throw is not cut off. It's an RBI double for Chris Kaluzian. Greg, that ball kept on carrying and carrying and carrying, and Chris Smith did all he could to make the play. A diving attempt, unable to do so. D'Alessandro, with 2 outs, going on contact, was able to score, and just like that, it's a one-run game, and now the tying run is in scoring position, and the go-ahead run is at the plate.
O'Neill, he could have made a throw home to the plate, and he could have gotten the runner, D'Alessandro, out at the plate, but O'Neill, with a hesitation, electing not to throw, and Kaluzian taking advantage of the diving play that Chris Smith missed, and now all of a sudden we have a one-run game. As Bonte goes out to talk to O'Neill to approach how they're going to go about Derek Hirsch here.
First base is open, Greg. I know you never think about putting the go-ahead run on base, but you do have a base to work with. That would be the lead run. Hirsch is 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a double. Left-handed pitcher facing the right-handed batter. First pitch is a curveball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So, Greg, the 2-out hits continue here in this game. Another big clutch 2-out hit. This time goes in favor of the Atlantics, and they have cut a 3-run deficit to 1 as they look to get one more big 2-out hit that would tie the ball game. 1-1 is the count to Derek Hirsch. The on-deck hitter is Mike Russo. He homered his last time up. From the stretch. Pitch is popped up. Foul ground, right side, and out of play.
Just out of play, barely.
Yes, so the count is a ball and 2 strikes to Derek Hirsch. So Danny O'Neill started the inning by getting Pena to fly out, then hit Perrone. Had D'Alessandro ground into the field of choice. Credit D'Alessandro for running hard out of the box, staying out of the double play, eventually coming home to score the second run for the Atlantics. 1-2 pitch.
Runner goes.
Broken bat, pop up behind home, foul, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. So aggressive base running there on the part of Kaluzian. And Greg, to tell you the truth here, dangerous base running. Kaluzian is probably going to score on a base hit to the outfield. You do not want to make the third out at third, obviously, to end the inning, especially when you're down to your final 4 outs of the championship.
Yes, but Kaluzian during the regular season, 7 for 8 in stolen base opportunities. So obviously Lou Bernardi had some confidence to send the runner, Kaluzian, to third base.
And on the flip side, if he did successfully steal the base, then a wild pitch would bring the tying run in. So it's just a gamble on the part, and we'll keep an eye on the base runner again, Kaluzian at second. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And it's a pop-up. Third base side in fair ground. The third baseman, Ryan Quinn, makes the catch, and that retires the side. But the Atlantics get a run back here, 1 run closer into the bottom of the 8th. They scored 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left on. We go to the 9th of the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship. The score is now the North Jersey Eagles 3 and the New York Atlantics 2. Mike Moore alongside Greg Diener. Greg, another 1-run nail-biter here as the ACBL season comes to a close.
And of course, like yesterday, as we saw in Southampton, this game going right down to the final pitch. And now Lou Bernardi will send out Kevin Chenisek to go for his 9th inning of work.
Chenisek, as we mentioned, started the game retiring the first 13 batters that he faced. Then Chris Smith, with 1 out in the 5th, had a surprise bunt single, and that opened the floodgates for a 3-run inning for the Eagles. And since that 3-run inning, Ryan Quinn flied out to end the top half of the 5th inning, and since then, it has been 10 batters in a row retired by Kevin Chenisek. So he gives up the 3 spot, gets out of the inning, and then throws 3 consecutive scoreless innings. So he is in a groove. 8 innings pitched so far, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. And as we said, he had a string of 13 in a row to start the game, gave up the 3 runs, and then retired 10 batters in a row, and that streak stands as we go to the top of the 9th.
And with the exception of those 3 runs you mentioned in the top of the 5th, Chenesek has pitched as brilliant a game as you can pitch here in this ACBL championship.
Heart of the order for the Eagles. Kyle Grimm leads off. He'll be followed by Tyler McCarthy and Chris Smith. Grimm is 0 for 3 so far. A ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Chenesek's first pitch is a fly ball down the right field line. And it drops in for a base hit away from Dan Rowland. Rounding second and heading to third with a throw to third and out at third base. I apologize. We were blocked by the play there. So trying to take the extra base was Kyle Grimm. And he was gunned down. A beautiful play. Boy, more defensive gems on the part of both teams here. Dan Rowland made a diving effort on the play down the right field line, but got back up on it quickly, threw the ball in, and I believe he threw it to Pena.
He threw it to the shortstop, Perone, who was able to make a great throw to the third baseman, Quinn, and you can score that 9-6-5 at home.
Third.
Yes, to the third baseman, George, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So it's now 9-6-5 at home, and now the count is 1-1 to Tyler McCarthy. So 2 big defensive plays in right field for both teams.
And that ball kept tailing and tailing and tailing away from Dan Rowland. He probably wished he hadn't dove for it, but he did make the dive. And like I said, I was blocked on the play. I thought he was at first going to get into third with a stand-up triple, but Rowland picks it up quickly, makes a nice throw to Perone, and Perone threw an absolute strike to the third baseman, Dave George.
Well, I thought that the ball was going to go right out of play because as you may see a little bit by the right field line, that ball was rolling almost right by where those bushes are. So I was surprised that ball was able to remain in play.
Pitches inside to McCarthy, and the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So McCarthy is 0 for 3 on the afternoon. 2 flyouts and a ground out. Payoff pitches swung on and fouled into the glove of Mike Russo. Foul tip, and Russo holds on for the strikeout. So that is the second out of the inning. 7 strikeouts now for Kevin Chenesek. So his streak of 10 consecutive batters is retired in the first at bat as Grimm takes it the other way. So Grimm is credited with a double and then thrown out, trying to extend it to a triple. Greg, the unwritten rule in the baseball, never make the first or third out at third, but Grimm thought after Rowland made the dive and was unable to make the catch, he thought he had third easily.
And that play could turn out to be the one mistake that we mentioned earlier in this contest. Of course, with a 1-run game, we'll see how large that will play in the bottom half of the 9th inning should the score remain 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Lou Bernardi having a word with Kevin Chenesek to approach how they're going to go about Chris Smith here, who already has laid a surprise sacrifice bunt on Chenesek that broke up his perfect game attempt in the 5th and led to the Eagles' 3-run rally.
So Smith on the afternoon, 1 for 3 with a bunt single and a run scored. Chenesek 1 out away from a complete game, popped up, foul, out of play, behind home.
Of course, we cannot say for sure if it will be a complete game, considering should the score remain 3-2 and the Atlantic score run the 9th, what will happen in the top half of the 10th inning should this game go to extra innings?
I stand corrected. You're always on top of it. Pitch is fouled off and the count is 0-2.
Of course, the Atlantic's bullpen would be plenty well rested with Chenesek having gone, hopefully going the regulation length. Nothing get the third out.
0-2 is the count to Chris Smith. Time is called. So this championship game has been as advertised. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. So Smith goes down looking to end the inning. 8 strikeouts now for Kevin Chenesek. The leadoff double is erased on the beautiful relay started by Dan Rowland to Mike Perone, and Perone throwing to Dave George to retire Kyle Grimm. So for the Eagles in the top of the 9th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Last chance for the New York Atlantics, they trail this 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game 3-2 alongside Greg Dieter. As Danny O'Neill remains in the game here.
Of course, O'Neill looking for the save. Kevin Lee having pitched the top of the 5th in relief of Joey Gandolfo, who did not go the minimum 4 innings, would be in the line for the victory.
Danny O'Neill in his 2nd inning of relief, he gave up an RBI double to Kaluzian, bringing home Tom D'Alessandro, who reached on a fielder's choice, hustling out a double play attempt that was started by O'Neill. So that cut the deficit to 3-2, but then O'Neill got Derek Hirsch to clean up it to pop out to the third baseman, Ryan Quinn. So 5, 6, and 7 in the order here for the Atlantics against Danny O'Neill. Mike Russo, Kevin Chenisek, and Dan Rowland, the scheduled batters. Russo is 2 for 3 on the afternoon. His last at bat in the 7th inning, he hit a solo home run off of Pat Butler. So Russo represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 9th. Right-handed batter facing the left-hander O'Neill. O'Neill working from the third base side of the rubber. And the first pitch is inside for a ball. It almost hit him. It goes all the way to the backstop. And the count is 1-0. So it's Russo, Chenisek, and Rowland scheduled here. And despite being 2 for 3 in the game, Greg, Russo has home run power. He has to be thinking his job is just to get on base and bring that winning run to the plate and get the tying run on.
Yes, and that pitch is high.
1-0 pitch is up high, and the count is 2-0. So good patience shown there as the strike zone shrinks, and O'Neill is behind in the count to Russo. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch is taken outside. 3-0 is the count. O'Neill not happy with the call there by home plate umpire Tom Major, but the count is 3-0 to Mike Russo. You think he will not be swinging here, Greg? I don't believe.
Must not.
3-0 pitch is on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. So still a hitter's count here, 3-1. But again, if you're Russo, you have to show patience and try to get up. 3-1 pitch is taken right down the middle for a called strike, and after falling behind in the count 3-0, O'Neill has fought back to run it full. 3-2, a huge pitch coming up here. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's a fly ball hit to center field. It's traveling back, but under it is the center fielder, Chris Smith, and he makes the catch just shy of the wall. A huge first out there for Danny O'Neill as he retires Russo after falling behind in the count 3-0, 1 out and nobody on, and the Eagles are 2 outs away.
And a nice comeback attempt by O'Neill, down 3-0, almost hitting Russo on the first pitch, but able to come back nicely on the flyout to Chris Smith. And now Kevin Chenisek, the Atlantics pitcher, coming up to bat here.
Chenisek 0 for 3 so far. Left-handed batter facing the left-handed pitcher. First pitch is inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Chenisek grounded into a double play, has struck out, and had a attempt at a bunt that was corralled nicely by Bonte, the catcher, as the count is even at a ball and a strike. So again, Chenisek asks for time. His job here is to get on base. Not a lot of power. Looking to just help his own cause. Just trying to put that tying run on the base pass and bring the winning run to the plate. 1-1 pitch. Curveball taken for a called strike. That was the nicest curveball O'Neill has thrown this afternoon. He's ahead on the count to Chenisek, 0-2. 0-2 pitch is a grounder to the right side, fielded cleanly by the first baseman Kirshner. He takes it to the bag himself to retire Chenisek for the second out of the bottom of the 9th inning here. And now the New York Atlantics are down to their final out of the championship.
And North Jersey now 1 out away from picking up their very first ACBL championship. And now Rowland stepping into the plate, 1 for 3 this afternoon with a single thrown out at the plate in the bottom of the 5th on the double by Perone.
His other 2 at-bats were strikeouts. Left-handed pitcher facing the right-handed batter. First pitch is a fastball up high, and the count is 1-0.
After this game, we will have the championship trophy presentation to the winning team. 1-0 pitch is taken for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rowland.
Should the inning continue, Dave George, who is 0 for 3, is on deck. He's the scheduled hitter. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Nice off-speed pitch thrown there by O'Neill. And now The Atlantics are down to their final strike of the championship. The Eagles are one strike away from a Cinderella story here. 1-2 pitch outside, and that evens the count at 2-2. As you can hear, many of the Eagles fans behind us trying to get that third strike for Danny O'Neill. 2-2 pitch is popped up out of play, and we will do it again at 2-2.
And Kirshner really wanted that ball to stay in play to get the third out here.
Again, as Greg mentioned, complete post-game coverage, including trophy presentation at the conclusion of this game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Time is called. Dan Rowland doing all he can to keep things going here for the Atlantics. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and the ball game is over. And the North Jersey Eagles are the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League champions. What a tremendous postseason run here as they have clinched the championship here in 2012.
And North Jersey completing one of the biggest Cinderella runs. This was a team that had never made the postseason in their 4-year franchise history, going 19-20, winning the number 3 seed, upsetting Quakertown and Trenton in the Wolf Division playoffs, and yesterday the big, gigantic upset of the Southampton Breakers. And they come here to Oyster Bay, put up a 3-spot on Kevin Chenisek. That was all they needed. And despite a valiant comeback by the Atlantics, North Jersey prevails, and they are the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League champions. They will take the ACBL title back to Northern New Jersey.
So for the Atlantics in the bottom of the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. The final score this afternoon in the championship game of the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League, it was the North Jersey Eagles 3 and the New York Atlantics 2. Back to talk about it in a moment, as well as the trophy presentation and complete post-game coverage right here on Ustream.
That was a great ending. Greg Diener back here with Mike Moore as the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League season has wrapped up as the North Jersey Eagles take the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League championship here in Oyster Bay, as you saw the ACBL Commissioner Ralph Adanazzo deliver the championship trophy to the North Jersey Eagles, and certainly a Cinderella run by North Jersey. As we mentioned earlier, their 4th season of existence, they never won more than 12 games in each of their first 3 seasons. But this year, a different story. 19-20, qualifying themselves for the number 3 seed in the ACBL Wolf Division, coming back and defeating the Quakertown Blazers and the Trenton Generals to win the Wolf Division championship. And behind a tremendous 200-pitch performance by Brian Drapeau in the semifinal game against Southampton in the play-in game to get to the championship, and 3 RBIs by Chris Smith, including a home run and a 2-run double in the 6th that gave him the lead for good, advanced to today's championship game. And behind great hitting in the top of the 5th by Chris Smith, Jamie Wallerman, and Kirshner and Stanley Paul, delivering the 4 hits that Eagles needed. And, of course, a tremendous defensive play in the bottom half of that fifth inning on a brilliantly played ball by Tyler McCarthy in the bottom half of the fifth inning on a Vinny Perrone double to get Roland of the Atlantics out at the plate to keep the game at 3-0. And of course, the Atlantics would not go away quietly as Mike Russo delivered a solo home run to make it 3-1 to lead off the bottom half of the seventh, and Chris Pelusian with a 2-out double making it 3-2. But the 3 runs that North Jersey was able to score in the top of the fifth was enough. And now the North Jersey Eagles will go back to Rampo, New Jersey, the champions of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League in 2012. A tremendous victory for this club in their 4th season of existence. Of course, we want to congratulate also the New York Atlantics, a tremendous season, 24-14 in the Kaiser Division, coming back to defeat the defending ACBL champions Staten Island Tide down 1-0 to win the Kaiser Division championship to get to this championship game. But unfortunately today, despite a tremendous pitching performance by Kevin Chenisek, the Atlantics fall short in their quest to bring an Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League championship to Nassau County. But Mike, obviously, the North Jersey Eagles, a successful 2012 season, 19-20 on the regular season, but the playoffs, as we know, a different story, and they certainly provide their share of memorable moments this postseason.
Well, Greg, this game was as advertised. We talked about it throughout the broadcast. 2 very successful teams here in the postseason playing games that they probably weren't expected by the experts to be in, and they satisfied this crowd tremendously. Just did an absolute great job. And congratulations, as you said, to the North Jersey Eagles, but there's no reason that the New York Atlantic should hang their heads. They had a tremendous season as well, and it was just a great way to close out the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League season.
So the final score here at Oyster Bay here at the Charles Wang Athletic Complex here in Oyster Bay, New York at St. Dominic's High School. It is the North Jersey Eagles winning the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship over the New York Atlantics by a final score of 3-2. We'll be right back to have more post-game coverage. You're listening to coverage of the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game right here live on U Street. So you want to get Chris Smith? Or McCarthy because he made the big play, defensive play. What do you want to get O'Neal because he got the save?
No.
Yeah, Smith, he broke up a perfect game, and then
and he had the big hits yesterday too. Yeah. So you want me to get? Okay. So that's okay.
Kicked out from behind home plate today. that upward work.
Yeah.
That kid threw very well yesterday for Southampton. Where's he going next year? Any idea? He's in the junior college.
No, I'm not sure.
The kid from Southampton.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going.
Real pitching.
Welcome back to the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship Game post-game show. This is Greg Diener alongside Mike Moore, and we are here, Mike, with the star of the last two games here as the North Jersey Eagles have won the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship, Chris Smith.
Thanks, Greg. As you said, I'm joined by Chris Smith right now. Chris, congratulations, first of all, on winning the championship here this afternoon for the North Jersey Eagles. I want to just talk to you about your second at-bat of the game. Kevin Chenisek had a perfect game. He retired the first 13 batters that he faced, and he was really doing a tremendous job mowing down the opposition. So just tell us, what was your approach at that plate? Did you think right away when you stepped into the batter's box, I'm going to throw down a surprise bunt?
Well, that's something I'm always thinking about, you know. I mean, it's like some of my arsenal. I mean, I got good speed. I can always put it down, so I'm always checking that every at bat. And actually, it's funny because right before I came in, one of my pitchers said, "Oh, he's throwing a perfect game right now." I said, "Oh." So that's one thing that definitely popped in my mind was the drag bunt. I saw it, so sure enough, I did it.
Now, it was a great play that was actually made by the third baseman Ryan Quinn on the bare hand, but you beat it out. Now, when you were at first base, did you think to yourself, and did you say to the first base coach that this is going to be the start of something? We finally got to him, and you know, Greg and I were talking during the broadcast. Sometimes if you just give up a base hit, you know, even though the perfect game ends, it's a little bit different than when you give up a bunt single. So do you think it could have been the start of something big?
Absolutely, because I think bunts, especially, you always get the pitcher's head. They think, "Oh, you didn't get to him," and you always want to make a pitcher uncomfortable. I felt that was a perfect way to get to him.
So you said that you had the the infield single with one out. Then Greg Smith follows up with a walk. Jamie Weilerman picks up a base hit. You come in to score. So there's one run. You crack the ice. You take the one-run lead. And now just tell us about, you guys have been so clutch this year with two-out hits. So Kenny Kirshner, the number 9 hitter, comes up, RBI single, 2-0. Stanley Polk was RBI single. I got a piece of that. Did you get a little of that? So Stanley Paul comes up, RBI single. So all of a sudden, a 1-0 game becomes a 3-0 game. So just tell us about how important it is to pick up those two-out hits all season long. That has kind of been, you know, the mantra of the team. So tell us what the mindset of the team was as you went out to the bottom of the fifth. All of a sudden, not up 1-0, now up 3-0 instead.
Yeah, I mean, we've been coming big at two-outs all year. I mean, it's been something we've always been coming to the clutch. We just don't ever want to give up. Always win the inning. That's always what we're trying to do. Make something happen. Make tough at bats, and sure enough, that's what we did with a lot of two-out all season long.
You guys have really a Cinderella story, but you had a tremendous season. You come into the postseason, you make this run. Greg, I know you have a couple questions about yesterday's game real quick, if you don't mind.
Yes,
and then we'll finish up.
Chris, obviously the big two-run hit in the 6th inning against Southampton. What was your mindset going into that hit yesterday against a talented pitcher in Paul Tyus, who dominated the Hamptons division all this season?
Yeah, I heard about him a little bit, and I remember seeing him in the All-Star game, but he was around the strike zone a lot, pounding the zone, throwing a lot of strikes, and he tried to sneak a fastball by me inside. He hasn't come inside really all game, and then I just turned on it, and sure enough, got through, and we got 2 runs out of it.
And Chris, obviously a tremendous road to get here, coming back down against Quakertown, and especially a talented team in the Trenton Generals who won 27 games during the regular season. What were your mindsets going into the Wolf Division playoffs, trying to get here to this championship round?
Well, we knew that we had plenty of talent to even bring us all the way to the championship game. And ever since the season even started, we always knew we had the talent. We had a great group of guys. And actually put all together the season and made that run.
And Chris, obviously, successful season making the ACBL All-Star team for the Kaiser and Wolf Division, culminating your summer here with an Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League championship, being a key part of this championship season. How does it feel to end your summer with a championship victory?
Going out with a bang, it feels great, and I don't know, it's the first championship I've ever won in anything, so it's a pretty special feeling.
Not even T-ball?
Not even T-ball, not even intramural middle school basketball tournament. It's the first championship ever, so it feels good.
Well, Chris, I hope you and the Eagles will savor this victory, take it back to Northern New Jersey, and a tremendous victory for you guys, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much.
Chris, final question that I just want to ask you. Just tell us about the experience that you've had here as a member of the ACBL this summer. You attend Wagner College. So just tell us what the experience was like to be a member of such a prominent league in the ACBL, the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. Just tell us what the experience was like these past couple of months, and what you're going to take with you as you head back to Wagner in the fall in a couple of weeks.
One thing I'm going to take with me is this great group of guys I met first of all. One of the best teams. We gelled so well this one summer, and the coaching staff was awesome. I mean, always on top of things. Couldn't ask for any more out of them. GM Mr. Casey as well. I mean, throughout the whole team, everything was great, and it was just a perfect experience. I mean, it was just a perfect summer, and couldn't ask for anything better, especially the championship.
Perfect summer culminated with a championship. We'd like to thank you for joining us here in the post-game show, and best of luck back at Wagner in the fall, and then in the upcoming season as well. And we look forward to possibly seeing you again here next year.
Hopefully you will.
That was Chris Smith. We'd like to thank him for joining us here in our post-game show, as he is a member of the North Jersey Eagles, who have defeated the New York Atlantics in the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game this afternoon by a score of 3-2. Let's just give you the final numbers in the game. For the North Jersey Eagles, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. And for the New York Atlantics, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 5 runners left on. The winning pitcher is Kevin Lee. Greg, as you mentioned, coming on in the 5th inning in relief of the starting pitcher, who happened to be Johnny Gandolfo. So Kevin Lee comes on and picks up the victory. Kevin Chenisek goes the distance and picks up the complete game loss. Chenisek, 9 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts, and the save goes to Danny O'Neill. And Greg, one thing that I just want to point out in the box score here, how impressive pitching performance this was on the part of both teams. We had 9 innings pitched by the Atlantic's pitching staff.
Chenisek.
9 innings pitched by the Eagles pitching staff. So 18 total innings pitched in this championship game, 1 walk. And that really says a lot about these teams. One walk allowed.
That tells you how talented these two teams were, North Jersey and New York, in getting into this playoff run. Of course, both teams, coming back from 1-0 deficits in their division championship series to get to the championship round. And these last 2 days between Southampton and here in Oyster Bay, you could not have asked for a greater 2 days of ACBL championship ball, and culminating here with a victory for the North Jersey Eagles.
And not only 1 walk, but a combined 19 strikeouts, 11 strikeouts for the 4 pitchers for the North Jersey Eagles, and 8 strikeouts for Kevin Chenisek. Johnny Gandolfo pitches 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And then Kevin Lee, a scoreless inning. And Pat Butler and Danny O'Neill each go 2 innings, giving up a run each. And Butler struck out 2 and O'Neill struck out 1. So it was just a tremendous job on both sides today.
And Kevin Lee getting tremendous help in the bottom half of the 5th inning on the ball that Perone hit down the right field line quite brilliantly off the wall by the right fielder for North Jersey, Tyler McCarthy. He made it, played an excellent hop off the wall, throwing it to the first baseman Kirshner and gunning out Perone.
And that proved to be the difference, Greg. It was
Actually,
a one-run...
Correction, that was, I believe, Roland. Yes,
and
Roland.
It was a one-run difference in this game, so if they don't complete that relay, we might still be playing here. So it's just, a tremendous championship game played by both teams. Defensively, pitching, very fundamentally sound. No errors committed on either side. And what more could you ask for, as we said, to finish out the 2012 ACBL season?
A tremendous season, and we want to thank all of you people for watching us, listening to us this past week, especially for the Hamptons Collegiate Baseball Championship Series between Southampton and Riverhead yesterday in the playing game, and of course this afternoon here in Oyster Bay. And of course, as always, we want to thank the sponsors who have given us this tremendous season of Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League action for you this past week here on Ustream. Emil Norsik & Sons, Hampton Jitney, Bridgehampton National Bank, and New York Life. They have been tremendous sponsors for Hampton's Collegiate Baseball and the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. And we could not have done these broadcasts this week without their tremendous support of Hampton Collegiate Baseball and the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League.
So a great summer for all of these members of the ACBL. In a couple of weeks, it's back up to the campuses to get ready for the fall season. Some of these teams play fall ball, obviously participate in the fall baseball activities, and then most importantly, the off season as they get prepared for the spring 2013 season. So just, a couple more weeks, and they head back up to the campuses, and then in the blink of an eye, school starts once again. So just a tremendous 2.5 months or whatever here. So it's been great, and both teams should be proud, and the entire Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League should be proud as well.
Yes, a tremendous week of playoff baseball. What more can you ask for? And so, Mike, it's been a pleasure doing these broadcasts with you this past week, and we hopefully look forward to bringing you some action again next season, 2013.
I appreciate that, Greg. So that's going to do it here. Once again, the final score this afternoon from the Charles Wang Athletic Complex in Oyster Bay, New York, in the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship. It was the North Jersey Eagles 3 and the New York Atlantics 2. Greg, any final thoughts as we sign off?
Just want to congratulate the North Jersey Eagles and the New York Atlantics, and especially the Southampton Breakers, who unfortunately fell short yesterday in Southampton for tremendous seasons, winning their respective division championships. And we could not have asked for two brilliantly played games of baseball these last 2 days.
Well, Greg, thanks for having me here. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I look forward to working again with you. And as you sign off, I'd just like to say thank you to the listeners, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you again, hopefully with Greg, in 2013 as we broadcast more Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League coverage. So, Greg, why don't you say goodbye for the final time tonight?
All right, so the final score in the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship game, it was the North Jersey Eagles winning the 2012 Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League Championship. The final score, North Jersey Eagles 3, the New York Atlantics 2. For Mike Moore, this is Greg Diener saying so long, and thank you for a tremendous 2012 season of Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League ball. We hope to see you again next season in 2013. This is Greg Diener and Mike Moore signing off from